Dushtantak Trilogy, The Invincible arrives. The story of a boy who is adopted by God, trained by immortal, feared by demons, born to become a legend. Chapter 1. It's me. Okay, so yes, this is my story, and I want to get straight to it. I'm not going to waste time on my formal introduction. You will get to know me in the upcoming time. You are going to spend with me. So, this story of mine starts with the call. The call from my mother. Adinath? Adinath? Adinath, you are going to be late for school if you don't wake up now. Okay, so that is my name, Adinath. I screamed back. Stop calling me Adinath, mom. I prefer Adi. Adinath goes back to ancient 1857 times Indian names. Get up, boy. It is high time to leave your bed and have a shower. Mom screamed for the third time. Yup, I said, and left the cozy warm bed of mine to hit the showers. I would have preferred few more minutes in bed, but I recognize my mom's voice when it says, I don't want any excuses. I just got ready for the school. Okay, so just for the heads up, I'm facing my 10th standard board this year by Indian academics, which means I am 16 years old. Anyway, in India, the board exams play an important role in shaping up one's career. It's massive deal. That time I hardly knew my career would be something like, yep, let's say a ghost hunter, a demon slayer, or the emperor of the whole earth. I had no idea at that time. But now that I think of it, I was pretty sure mom had a hint, even though she never told me. I went to the school like every day, nothing unusual, till the strange person approached me. A well built, rather an extra well built, say 5'9" or 5'10", heavily muscular body. We can say of a warrior. Hair were all on his forehead scattered, which were unsuccessfully trying to hide a wound right in between his eyes, as if someone had taken a point blank shoot with a shotgun on him. He told me only a few words, but I can still remember them. The words were, Time has come. You will complete your 16 years of life in next 5 days and everything will start. I looked at him as if he was insane. My first look was, okay, so he has survived the wound, but for sure he has lost his mind in it. He went on, Give your mom my message. Tell her the doors will open in 5 days. I looked at him blankly. Just then, my friend Vedika came running. She looked at him and literally carried me in through the school gates. I can tell for sure she knew that man, but that time I thought the scornful look she gave was of disgust. Now I know it was of pure hate and helplessness. Yes, she knew more about all this than me. During lunchtime, she brought up the subject as casually as possible. What was that guy saying to you? I, thinking of it as a joke, told her everything. She had no expression, no reaction, as if I was talking to the dead. At that time, little did I know I was going to be a part of such a fantasy in my actual life. So I was in my room watching the movie when I heard the doorbell ring. My room is on the second floor and window face the main door, so I can peep to see anyone ringing the bell. I just peeked out and my heart skipped a beat. Outside was Vedika with her mom. What the hell was she doing here? That too with a mom. Okay, let me get in level with you. I had a huge crush on her, and second, my crush was a secret, only to me. So I was like a rat trapped in a cage, couldn't run out, couldn't stay in, and the hell very nervous. I just sat down on a chair when Vedika came into my room. Oh god, I wish I had worn something other than three-fourth. She said, Adi, you need to come out. Have something to discuss about. I was only hoping she didn't know anything about my crush. God, I was tensed. When I walked into the living room, my mom was spreading the dinner table. There were 4 plates. Okay, so this was my first dinner with Vedika. Just one question. How the hell did my mom and Vedika's mom know each other? Or rather, who invited them and why? I sat on my chair. So, what's up? I asked, looking nervous. We will talk, son, over the dessert. Now have your meal, was the answer I got. So, I ate the 3 parathas and my share of rice with egg curry intention. What the hell was going on? Chapter 3. I am abounded. After dinner, we gathered in the living room. Mom brought us dessert, some curd milk, a few jalebis, and with it the talk began. Vedika's mom said, "So Adi, I heard from Vedika a man approached you. Why don't you tell us about it?" I was like, "Have you all gone nuts? You people scared the crap out of me." But I, like a good son, told everything. Then there were lots of questions, like mostly on describing the person, his wound, and physiques. I was pretty much irritated, but still I played along. The discussion went on. I was like, "Don't take tension, you people. He was some psychic, or he assumed me as somebody else." That's when I heard the doomsday thunder from my mom's mouth. "Adi, time has come. You have to leave the house." What? Mom, just because I didn't care for a maniac, you are making me leave the house? No, my son, it's far more than that. Time has come. You will understand slowly. Mom, are you alright? I was kind of worried. My mom was vanishing me from the house. Mom continued, "Listen, Adi, at midnight in 5 days, when you will turn 16, a ride will come for you. Vedika will be with you. You're going to, let's say, boarding school. You will enjoy it. I promise. Now go pack your bags." That was it. I didn't get a head or tail of what was happening. My mom was abandoning me. I couldn't get any further information out of her. My world was over. At night, called secretly to Vedika. She received the call. Her first sentence was, "Adi, I know why you have called, but sorry, I can't tell you anything." I was frustrated. "Then who can tell me?" I begged. Vedika said, "Your parents can tell you, or the principal of the school." "Then how come you know?" I asked desperately. "Because my mom chose to tell me. Yours didn't," she said. "Then maybe you can, Vedika," I replied. "Shut up, Adi, and go to bed." She hung up on me. I kept sulking the whole day and next and next. But I just knew on midnight of my 16th birthday, a person unknown to me will come and take me to some boarding school and Vedika will be with me. At first I hoped it was kind of secret birthday party or something. My mom was pulling over. But then I heard she had sold her house and was moving someplace else. I didn't know. Even the deal was done before my eyes. Trucks had come,
Chapter 4
furniture, my
was
birthday, my nightmare. I begged, I cried, I fought, I sulked. But my mom was stone cold, or rather, ice cold. What the hell was going on? Was becoming 16 years old a sin? I was seriously considering suicide as one of the options. Okay, so the D day has arrived. Tonight at 12 a.m., I will be 16. The whole day I was finding a place to hide. The place where I could close my eyes and open when this nightmare would be over. The place where no one, not that man with wound or my mom, will find me. Sadly, no other place other than mine, my den, my heaven, my room was available. I lay the whole day in bed, and the event started. At 9:30 p.m., mom came into the room and asked me, "Is your bag packed?" I nodded, wiping my tears. "Did you take all your clothes?" Again I nodded. "Great! See, I know tough time is coming for the whole earth, and that it has begun with you. Just remember, tough time does not last, but tough men do. Now let me see your bag." I handed her the bag. She opened it. She kept my clothes in the bag, but removed my books, textbooks of Standard 10, from it. She kept my novels, my laptop, my movies. She then asked me to hand over my cell phone, took it, and removed the SIM card and put it in a new cell phone. The cell phone which would have cost her a fortune. The handset expensive than her car. She smiled. "Take it as a birthday gift." Looking at the books, she smiled. "You won't be needing them anymore. Now, look at me. I want you to listen to me straight and vivid. Believe every word I am going to tell you. From now, your life is going to start. Many men are born. They choose their profession, their destiny, live their destiny and die. But some, like you, are born for special purpose. God has decided your destiny, and I am sure you will live by it. Make the gods proud." She took a pause. See, I love you more than anything. It is difficult for me to part from you. I know you are scared. But if I tell you about it, you will be horrified. So, you have to learn it slowly and gradually. Trust me, right now I guarantee you three things. First is my love for you. Second is your well being. And third are my blessings. Tried to hold back the tears in her eyes. After few moments, she said, and you know what you are going to love that place. Now be brave, and you have to take this parcel. Saying so, she gave me a box made out of gold with few gems on it. The box looked classy. It was locked. She said, take this with you. Give this to your head master. I couldn't get the heads or tails. She slid the box into my bag. What kind of school was it? Were no books required? You had to carry the best handset on planet. Movies, laptop allowed. For which mom needed to relocate all the secrecy as is of CIA's highly classified mission. And principal must be gifted with a classy gold box. I kept sulking. I tried to open the box, but mom said it could be opened by principal only. At 10:30, Vedika and her mom came to our house again. Vedika had her bag packed with her. God knows what was in that. I bet three things: makeup shop, her entire wardrobe, and DVD which she used to bum after downloading her boring Hindi television serials. Mom had cooked food. My favorite parathas and chicken curry with dum biryani and turi kebabs with boiled egg and cheese salad. The table told me I was in heaven, but the packed bag reminded me of the hell that was coming my way. My mom and Vedika's mom were chatting. Vedika, even though silent, was participating in the conversation. On the other hand, I was like, God, please kill me right now. During dinner, only one thing I learned made me feel relaxed. Vedika has to take care of me. Hearing the words, fishes danced in my stomach, but only little. At 11:30, Vedika brought up the cake and few candles. She forced me to cut the cake half an hour early. My mom and aunt sang birthday song. At 11:45, I was sent up to change. Mom had bought a dress for me, black shirt with black trousers. It had black jacket, also black hairband, black shoes, black socks, black biker's gloves. I meant it looked like a dress of some superhero. The only difference was superheroes wear a clock on back. I had a jacket, but its tightening fitting, shiny looks. Also had a utility belt and all. My mom came just behind me and helped me dress. Means, common mom, I am 16. I can dress myself. She took me to the living room. There I saw Vedika was also dressed in almost the same way, only had color combination of purple and blue and pink. At 12 a.m., the exact time when seconds hand touched the 12 on clock, four things happened at the same time. Lightning thundered in the sky, the earth shook, giving the feeling of earthquake, the two minor things and two major things. Tears rolled down my mother's eyes, and the worst, the doorbell rang. Outside, standing was the same guy. He did not get into the house even after being invited. I thought it was his rude behavior, but Vedika's mom said to him, I know you can't get in, but still, if you want to. She did not get the answer. Vedika came in with a glass. I assumed it was water, but turned out to be oil. He poured it in his big injury on his forehead. Mom said, go with him and listen to what he says. Listen to him. So I picked up my bag. Vedika picked up her. We both touched the feet of our mom, took their blessings, and with teary eyes said
My
goodbye.
school, my heaven. Outside, a car was waiting for us. I don't know which. I was too stressed out to notice. We both sat in the back seat and the car took off, coming on a highway at great speed, taking few turns right and left, crossing few highways, few national highways, here and there. Sorry, I can't describe the journey, for I was preoccupied. We reached the entrance of a forest. The car, without slowing down, raced into the jungle, and as we crossed the first row of trees, a car turned to well. Will you believe it if I say a chariot? Well, frankly, I don't expect you to believe, because neither did I, but yes, our car turned into a double horsed chariot. We raced into the jungle. The weird man was driving. He was in front. I was sitting back with Vedika, still trying to get an explanation. The only logical thing which kept coming in my mind was outside the forest, we parked the car and sat on this chariot, as cars don't go into the jungle. I was so occupied in my thoughts that I don't remember doing it. Then I kept worrying. Where the hell is he taking me? In the jungle? Why? Then we saw few other chariots joining us. All were driven by men, just like our weird man, only less injury on forehead. Some had one person in black, some two, some went to the extent of five. We drove. I was too nervous to look at the scenery. I just sat in the back. We passed through the dense forest, rivers, bridges, lakes, and then entered the gates. Gates big enough to allow 10 elephants to walk together in line. Vedika held my hands. We were here, she said. Our chariots stopped in the courtyard. As big as 3 football grounds, we were greeted by a few of the students who came out of the gates of the mansion, smiling and trying to be friendly. Welcome, friends, they said. Leave your baggages here. Let's get over with this assembly. Saying so, they took us into the mansion, through the hallways, by the corridors, and into a big hall, in front of which stood the statue of woman who looked like a saint in a sari and no jewelry except for her earrings and a necklace. Below it was written Devi Aditi, the mother of gods in heaven. This statue was made of white marbles and stood at least 8 feet tall. She was sitting in meditation pose. Behind the statue was a platform on which stood a person in a blazer, well trimmed beard and eyes, which reflected power. All the students settled down and waited in silence. Then the person spoke. Welcome, all of you. I know many of you are tensed, horrified, little bit scared, and trust me, it is natural. His eyes were common by the way he spoke. It had something in it. His eyes, even though reflected authority, his words showed a friend in them. He continued, I know you how have you many questions in your head. Many of whose mothers have told you, you know things. But for the rest who are not told before, I'm going to explain you what this is all about. You all, I'm sure, have heard many stories of Mahabharata and Ramayana, which means you know about Pandavas, the children of the gods who created epics, right? Now I'm telling you the story behind the curtain you don't know. After the war, the three supreme gods, Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma, made it clear no god was allowed to have a child with any mortal females. Henceforth, to stop the evils, God found a different way. The unsure part of their what they did was they chose the female who was pregnant and single due to any reason, like death of the husband, nowadays divorce or pre-marriage pregnancy, etc. They blessed those, they gave the unsure of their own strength, and God adopted this child. So, in short, you are all are children of God with divine powers. Okay, this person either is crazy, a maniac, or thinks we all are. But he continued, you are born for special reasons with special powers and qualities and for special purpose. Your mothers knew this, and hence you are sent over here, so you will be trained in a special way. Here you will be taught to understand your powers and reasons for your birth. You all are different from outside worlds. Gate of the schools open once a year and students are brought in. They leave the school only for a mission or assignment or any special reason, only under my permission. I was trapped in a black hole. God, what is all this bullshit? He continued, it's too much for you. Let's this sink in first. Till then, go to the second floor of this building and take rest. Meet me at lunch exactly in 2 hours over here only. And we will continue. All the boys followed his instructions, even I did. We went to the second floor. There were beds for all. I chose one and sat on it, closed my eyes and relaxed. Lying down, dead still. My eyes were closed, but my heart was crying. It was hard for me to stop the tears rolling down from my eyelids, even though closed tight. The face of my mom kept coming in front of my closed eyes. I lay still, can't tell for how long. A hand touched my skin, my cheeks, and wiped my face. I opened my eyes and Vedika was sitting beside me, close enough to make me literally uncomfortable. I got up and sat on the bed. She held my hand, smiled, and said, ready for lunch? I just nodded. She held my hands all the way to the hall. On the way, I asked her, did you know all this? She just nodded. I then asked her, about me? She smiled, then brushed my hair and smiled. Don't be so tensed. I am with you, she said. We sat for lunch. The hall was converted into a huge dining room. One big dining table was there with at least 90 to 100 seats. At one end, the person who had conducted our induction, beside him sat the weird man who had brought us to this school or whatever training thing it was. Four more men sat there beside them. All other students surrounded them in huge circle. I was sitting next to Vedika on one side, and on the other side a girl came to sit. I don't know who she was at that time. I distinctly saw the person who had conducted our induction asked something to a weird person who hadn't been a cab driver for the journey here, and he pointed straight to me. Then that guy looked at me. He was not looking at my face. It was as if the man was trying to read my whole life, my thoughts, everything. I looked back at him, but his gaze was fixed on me. The lunch was
Chapter
simple,
6.
but I
My
liked it.
friends, my life.
After lunch, the same person who had taken an induction said, "Now we will try to find out who your other parents are and group you all accordingly." Saying so, he lit fire in the Yadna Kund. This is the stage built by Hindus to offer prayers to fire god. He stood on one side of it. We were all told to sit down in front of it. Then one by one students were called. I on purpose had sat last. The process he told us was simple. We had to go in front of fire and close our eyes, then ask the fire god for the sign of a parent. First student went to the fire and did what was told. The fire turned into the shape of a horse. The person who had conducted our induction, I got to know later, was also our principal. Said, "You are son of Ashwini Kumar, the god of horses." Second student got sign of hammer. He was a son of Vishwakarma, the architect of universe and god of engineering and technology. The girl went after him. The fire took the shape of human tongue. She was the daughter of goddess Vacha Shindhi, the goddess of speech and languages. Then there were other signs also. And at last, we were sorted out. Let me count. Vishwakarma had one son. Vacha Siddhi had one daughter. Ashwini Kumar had 8 sons. Indra, the king of gods, had 2 sons. Agni, the god of fire, had one daughter. Vayu, the god of wind, had 3 daughters, the triplets. Pavan, the god of wind, had one son. Vedas had one son but looked like daughter, and so the counts went on. The girl who was besides me came. She got a veena, the Indian classical instrument. She was the daughter of Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom. Vedika went. She got only Om, OAM, words, the word of divinity, and 6 heads. Hard to recognize, but was told she is the daughter of goddess Gayatri, the goddess of spiritual power. She came and sat beside me. It was my turn. I went and sat, prayed. Nothing happened. I tried again. No change. At least 15 times, no change. The principal looked at me and then said, "Never mind, my son, we will try again tomorrow. Maybe your dad is busy right now. It has happened before." I was in tears. All were told to go now on 6th floor, where every god had one room and each one had to go in their respective parents' room. I was stuck on the 2nd floor alone. One huge room as big as a stadium, only one big bed, big enough for an elephant, but not cozy as I had at home. Okay, I agree it was also not discomforting. One cupboard was arranged for me there for a while. I had a washroom and toilet in my room only, but at other end. The distance was such that I would pee in my trousers before reaching there. I spent whole evening in my room, went for dinner, ate it, came back on my bed and slept. I closed my eyes but couldn't sleep. My memories were coming to me, haunting me. I remembered all the happy times and sad times, the times of my childhood with my mom, my friends, the pranks I used to play, the scoldings I used to get, the talks with my mom, the stories my mom used to tell me, the cricket matches we both used to watch. The river of thoughts was flowing free, wild. I couldn't keep the accounts of my thoughts at that moment. It was making me sad and restless. I felt like I was alone, abounded and betrayed by my mother. My pillow was wet
Chapter
with
7.
tears.
The Walk.
It might have been past midnight. I was like, God, I can't sleep, can't stay awake. So I got out of the bed and wandered the school corridor. I went to the 3rd floor, 4th floor, not much to tell, doors closed, looked like storage rooms or libraries, always locked. Dusted knobs and all. I came back to my 2nd floor. I went near the bed, then I saw a dark figure sitting on my bed. I switched the lights on. Principal sir was there. He said, I knew you were awake. Come, let's go for a walk. I will show you around. So we walked, he chatted. Mostly of my past, my school, my friends, my scores, my mother, my hobbies, etc. I was only answering his questions, noticing it. He said, Son, is your mind preoccupied? What's the problem? I looked at him for a second, then said, So, no. One claimed me. It was, I am not the son adopted by any gods, as you were saying. So, can I go to mom? Principal smiled and then said, Do you remember the chariot you drive in here? I nodded, he continued. You know, if you were not the blessed one, you would never have seen the chariots. Till the end, you would have thought as the car. I looked at him and said, So you mean I am 100% one of them? He just smiled. Then why didn't any god came forward? I asked, sir. He said, There may be many reasons, my son, don't worry. No one understands reasons of God. You know, and gods are also quite busy, right? He was trying to explain me as if a 6 year old, but I took it. I then said, Can I ask you one question? Sir smiled. His look told me he knew the question already, but he still encouraged me to ask it anyway. So, who is that guy with an injury on a forehead, the person who brought us here? He smiled. Son, I wanted you to know these things slowly, but you are asking questions. I think you might be ready for the answer. He took a long pause and then continued, My friend, have you read Mahabharat? I nodded yes. Then you might have as well know the character Ashwathama, Sir said. I nodded, and Sir just winked. It took some time for me to grasp that Sir was trying to tell me that he was Ashwathama. Yes, son, you know that 7 of the men are blessed or cursed to live till the doomsday. The 7 immortals, Ashwathama is one of them. He goes all around the world in search of children like you. Then there's Hanuman, the one who is sitting beside me. Next to him was Vyasmuni, and next to Ashwathama was Kripacharya, and then he gave me a smile. I was like, I have seen these people's snaps and idols. My thoughts were caught by him. He said, You men, you want your family to live up to date, but the gods whom you pray, the legends whom you idolize, can't we get up to date? I smiled back. I don't know why, but speaking to him made me believe all this stuff and it made me accept the stuff and be comfortable with it. So, sir, may I know your name? I asked. He smiled and said, Wait, I'll show you. He went into one of the adjacent rooms we were walking, told me to wait out, and in 2 seconds he called me in. And inside I saw a man in a saffron dhoti, tied above the knees, a bow hung left on shoulder, quiver to the back, bare chest, and were axe in hand. He had strings of rudraksh all over him. Seeing the person, I knew he was Lord Parshuram, the person who had killed all the Kshatriyas, that are warriors, on the earth. And that too once. I don't know why, but I pictured him always aggressive. Now that I think he was a saint himself, so he had to be calm and peaceful. Also, always in control of his emotions. One thing I noted was that this was not the costume of a fancy dress. Because I can bet anything, he had become at least 3 feet bigger in 2 seconds. Also changes the spiritual light which is illuminated from body of gods, or rather. I had seen in snaps while being illuminated, I could now hardly see the face. The energy which was radiating from his body made me fear and feel safe, both at the same time. It was magical experience. I cannot describe in any words. The closest I could get is I had a feeling which I believe the great warrior Arjun would have experienced on the war of ground of Kurukshetra when Krishna had shown him his truly godly form with n number of heads and hands. I joined my hand and touched his feet to take his blessing. He just smiled. Then in front of my eyes he came out again as he was in his blazers. I was dumbfounded. He said, I know it's a lot for you to grasp. Few days ago you were a normal kid and now you are standing in front of the god, or rather you people call me god, but I know why I showed you my form, because that was the form you will recognize me in. In that form you will trust me. I just nodded. Okay, so I was in hands of gods, and not any god. I was in hands of God Parshuram, one of the biggest teacher who in past has created warriors like Karna, Bhishma. Should I be proud? This was the time I stopped missing my mom, only missing, not loving. He then said, Now let me take you to bed specially. You and me have to work a lot together. On the way back, I asked, God, you said being alive till the doomsday is a blessing and curse. Why is that so? He smiled and said, Call me sir, not God. I simply nodded. He then continued, see, it's a blessing because we live long, but if you must know why it's a curse, you should talk to Ashwathama. You have seen his injury, right? He has to live with it forever. It pains and only blessed like you can see the injury. You can talk to Bali or Bibhishan. They both live in underworld. Some refer it as hell. Both are by birth demons. You know, right? Bali was forced to live there. He is angry and trying to come back. Bibhishan is there by his choice. He comes to pay a visit once in a while. So, in short, being immortal doesn't always mean a happy life. All the problems faced by mortals are faced by immortals also. And we have to live with them forever. It becomes a curse on such occasions. We reach my
Chapter number
bed.
8. The Gift from Dad. I was just climbing my bed when I remembered the box my mom had given me for the principal. I gave it to him. It was locked, but Sir opened it easily as if it was a child's play. Inside was a note which said, Father of Adinath gave this for Adi. In it was a handle of a sword, a double edged sword. Sir smiled at me and said, Your father has given you a gift, my son. I saw a sword handle, Parshuram smiled, and gave the handle in my hand. Immediately the blade appeared on the handle. The blade was shining. It blinded my eye. Parshuram smiled back. I asked, Who is my father? He said, Even I don't have a clue, I swear, but he loves you. If he can't come in front, there is a reason. I nodded and asked, So were you expecting me? He smiled. You know, when any god bless a child, he comes and tells us. So we wait for the child. But in your case, your mom came. The god had told your mom to find us. He did not come. Your mom found us and told the news. So it's something. I was thinking about at the dining table. Does my mom know the God who blessed me? I asked. He just smiled and said, No, she doesn't. The God came, blessed you in the womb, and told her to come here and tell me about it. She couldn't recognize the God. It was only his energy which forced her to come here. Then I checked the womb. It was protected by energy, the mystical energy, and trust me, it was much more than any other kid who has ever come here had, or even perhaps altogether. So I knew you were blessed, but didn't know by whom. It's all secretive, and hence I believe it's for some reasons. Trust me, secrets are kept for a reason. I was sad. Some god chose me and blessed me, then was so ashamed that he didn't come forward to accept me. Had I somehow offended him? Oh God, please forgive me if I have offended you with somehow. I am the only child, unknown from these secrets, I begged in my mind. Parshuram had read my thoughts. He smiled and said, Don't worry, even if God doesn't come, we will figure it out soon. I looked hopefully at him. How? I asked. He smiled. From tomorrow your training starts. It's usually like the blessed boy excels in the field his godparent works. We will figure it out. Relax. I nodded, hoping rising in my eyes. I trusted the person who spoke those words. I felt tired, sad, excited, eager, but most of all, I felt sleepy. Lying on the bed, I was wondering what my life has got me in, thinking and trying to grasp everything Sir had told, trying to understand it and believe it and feel more and more comfortable with it. But the thing I was doing was trying to sell the product which was already sold. I had already accepted it, and my mind was yet debating on it. The form of Lord Parshuram was coming in front of my eyes again and again, the divine form, and a curious thought came in my mind. I promised myself one day I will get a selfie with him in his true warrior form he had shown me today. If you want, you can hate my guts, but the thing was, I was now really looking forward to this life I was thrown in. I was thinking of the sentence I had heard, Throw me to the pack of wolves and I will return leading it. Yes, I was really excited. Next morning, Parshuram sent for me. I went in his office for the first time, big, classic, and filled with antique, wooden furniture.
and surrounded by weapons, books, and numerous mysterious and mystical objects. He pointed me to two students, one girl and one boy. He is Adinath. He will be your companion and your friend. Okay, now wait in the hall. I was thinking, how can you tell somebody he is your friend? You have to earn it. But he smiled and said, Adinath, I want you to bond with these two kids. Good and hard. Vedika is with you. Then Rita is with you. I gave a confused expression. Rita, yes, the girl next to you, the daughter of Saraswati. I want you to be friends with these two kids also. The girl is daughter of Bhanumati, the goddess of magic, and the boy is the son of Kala, the god of time and death. Then took a long pause and said, Adinath, you know the doors of the school open once a year on Guru Purnima to take students in who have completed their 16 years of age. I nodded. Parshuram went on. Don't you think it's more than a coincidence for the date of your birthday and the date of the gate of the school to open collide? I gave him a questioning look. He said, smiled. Never mind, just another thought about the mystery of your father. Go make friends with those kids now. I nodded, thinking, okay, the two are new in school and sir wants me to make them feel at home, just like I had seen many times in my old school with new admissions teacher doing same thing. Parshuram again read my thoughts and said, see, go with that thought in your mind, my boy, but they both will be of great importance. God, all these puzzles and mysteries, how are they going to be important to me? I thought. I went and introduced myself to them. They were standing outside the office, all tensed and nervous. Then I took them to the sixth floor and showed them to their rooms, all the rooms made after their parents, gave them schedules, and told about our school, the ways, through the corridors, and all. They both looked confident. They knew who were their parents, unlike me. I came back. They were late joiners. Maybe lived same, were in distant
school
place.
starts.
Same evening, we were given our routines. Early mornings, our physicals were going to be taken by Lord of Power, Almighty Hanuman himself. Afternoon theoretical subject that consisted of mythology, philosophy, literature, geography, history, other cultures and religions, and many more, all will be taken by Vyas Muni. In the evening, battle skills will be taught by Lord Parshuram himself. In the meantime, or rather free time, we were allowed to do whatever we wanted. There were few seniors who were excellent experienced in their work, and there were beginners like me. Making friends in the atmosphere was not a challenge. All were eager to help each other in this friendly atmosphere. We settled fast. We followed our routine nearly for 14 to 15 days before we got used to the routine. Meanwhile, my night talks with Parshuram were going well. One night, Parshuram took me to the fifth floor. There were few rooms named after gods there. He said, Adi, my son, you know what I think. You belong in one of these rooms. I saw the whole floor was empty. I looked at him with curiosity. He said, my son, these rooms are the rooms of major gods. They themselves hardly bless the baby nowadays, but in their honor we have made this floor. Look, this is where God Ganesha's room is. Here is Vishnu's, here is Brahma's, and here is Shiv's room. Here is room of Ma Durga. This is the room of Ma Kali. The biggest room over there is of Mata Vaishno Devi. They barely bless, but if they bless someone, if they adopt someone, it is known there's a huge danger coming on earth. Evil is rising. Big and vast things are going to happen. Myths will be created. Legends will rise. Epics will be written. I just nodded. I didn't want to be one of them. This time, not because I was scared of challenges. No, I would take any challenge now. I was being trained by legendary teachers like Parshuram, Hanuman, and Vyas. No, I did not want to be one of them because I would be alone here again. The room on the second floor, I wanted to change it but couldn't. I wanted to share it but couldn't. That made me feel lonely in the school of more than 500 friends and a few teachers. I wanted to share my room, be with my friends. Was I asking too much? Then Parshuram took me to the ground floor, and in the underground, he showed me the 7 floors which were below the ground just as much it was above. He said our school is the replica of our mythological universe. 7 heavens are the 7 floors above the 7 ground hells, or 7 floors below the ground, and earth is represented by huge grounds outside the place. He took me underground. Fifth floor below the ground, there was a room there. There, he said, or I strongly fear you belong here. And his eyes reflected fear. For the first time. Why? Whose room was that? Lord Parshuram, the greatest warrior and creator of the best warriors of all time, feared. I had heard the story. Outside in Chiplan, a place in Maharashtra's Konkan districts, with one arrow he had pushed the sea back, that to few miles, to make that place a village, which he donated to Brahmins. A god and a warrior of that caliber feared? Parshuram noticed my thoughts. He said this room is the room of a god who is forbidden to bless anyone. He took me inside the room, and seeing the door, I knew it was of Lord Yam, the god of death, the ruler of hell, the king of Petraloka, the symbol of Dharma and Satya. Inside was a statue of a man sitting on a buffalo. I asked, I knew, no, he is the god of death. But why can't he bless a child? Parshuram said blessings are given to live person. When Yam blessed to anyone, the person dies, or rather, person dies because of his blessings. I replied, I am alive, so you don't have to worry that it is him. He is not my father then. Parshuram smiled and said, have you brought your sword, Adi? I took out the handle and blade appeared as always. He said, look at this blade, my son. It is made from the metal called celestial ferrous, the combination of molten magma volcanoes, a lightning, and thunderstorm. I looked blankly at Lord Parshuram. Okay, I got it. This was not an ordinary blade, and was made of elements not found on the earth. Parshuram said, my son, these elements exist only in his kingdom, together nowhere else. You get thunderstorms on earth, lightning in sky or heaven, because of Lord Indra, but volcano, molten magma in hell. Also, there are lightning and thunderstorms there. This metal is from his kingdom. I was like, my father is the god of death. Parshuram said, it's not for sure, my son. Maybe some other god asked for favor from him to give a metal and made this sword for you. But that's tough because only three gods ever visit or contact Yam. I looked curiously and eagerly at Lord Parshuram. His next words were going to be the words of my fate. My identity was going to be revealed now. I felt like, oh, now I might be closing down on my father. Because I have to count, there are 36 crores gods by Hindu religion alone. Out of them, I might get to close on four. It will be great. Parshuram said, seeing one is Chitragupt, the god, the one who records the fate and karma of every person. I nodded. Parshuram went on, second is Kal Bhairav or Mahakal, the Lord Shiva. I looked at Parshuram. The third is Veerbhadra, the god of war. Now my thoughts began going wild. Out of the above, I didn't want to be son of Chitragupt at all. His work sounded kind of boring to me. Kal Bhairav or Veerbhadra, the supreme Shiva, sounded like they were dangerous but kind of cool. Whereas Yam, he was like outcast. So I hoped my dad, yeah, dad, because I told they adopt us, so my dad was one of Kal Bhairav or Veerbhadra. Parshuram sitting beside me was reading my thoughts and smiling. After that day, we had a gap of a few days in our night walks. My training was going well, I was working really hard, and it had starting paying off. I could see and feel the changes. I was starting to get a figure of a swimmer. My abs were developed, biceps, triceps, shoulders, thighs, etc. were developing. I had not got a chance to cut my hair, so now they were growing faster and were about to touch my shoulders. I was using an elastic band to keep them tied straight back, or else they would go in my eyes. The uniform which I had worn while coming here, the black one, still hung in my wardrobe. I had not got a chance to wear it. I still every day prayed in front of the fire to my father, but now in secret. I spent time with Vedika and Rita, the boy of Kala, his name was Jay, and daughter of Bhanumati, whose name was Lavanya. We were joined by the son of Vishwakarma, the Rudra, the daughter of Vashchadi, Mahi, Ashwini Kumar's two sons, Kartik and Yugesh, Rupa, the daughter of Agni, Rama, who was the son of Pavan, Veda, the son of Veda, and Agya, the daughter of Dhanvantari, the god of doctors. So, in short, we formed our own group of 13. We spent time together, hung out, watched movies on laptops. We had group discussions, and in short, we partied every second we got. My life has been set in routine again. I had accepted this life by now. All this was tough, but I was happy with it. I had many questions in my mind, and I knew I will get answers slowly and gradually. I remembered the saying, don't ask the questions if you're not ready for answers. It scared me, but my friends had told me everything has a time and I was waiting for it. The time when I will get
Chapter
my
10, The
answers.
Chance.
Then one fine night, after a substantial gap in our night walks through the school corridors, I again met Parshuram. He took me onto the terrace of the school or the mansion and said, you know what, tomorrow you have one more chance to find out whom your father is, who has adopted you. My ears stood up like a dog. I became instantly curious. He said, tomorrow we will have a visitor, my son. Do you know Narad Muni? I said, yes, the devotee of Lord Vishnu, writer of many divine chants and praise. He said, yes, he will come here. We will have a ritual, and tomorrow the powers given by your parents will be activated. And so we will know which power you have. We will know who your father is. Okay, so now I have to admit, I became pretty hopeful and my hopes were rising once again. I wanted to know who was my father and that badly, that I would not even mind if it was Yama, the god of death. Next day, I was trying to hide my curiosity. Vedika caught on it and teased me. I should stop teasing you now. I asked why, because now that you will know who your father is, you will go and complain to him. I know it was the worst leg puller ever, but I couldn't stop smiling. I was going to know who my dad was. Finally, we gathered in the hall as usual. Narad Sir, or Muni, saint, as I was habituated to address him, was there in plain saffron full length dhoti, clean shaved, big hair tied in a knot, and Rudraksh beads necklace, just like saints. He called each one of us, addressed every one of us personally. He knew all our names and every detail. Okay, when I say every detail, he knew our other parent, the godly parent, the God who had adopted us, given their part to us. He knew our previous life, I mean, before this school life, where everything was normal. Naradji chatted with the students for some time, then told the students to sit in meditation pose and instructed them that they were going to activate their Kundalani now. Now, let me make clear Kundalani are the veins or rather threads which cannot be seen by felt. They run from our brains through the spinal cord and back again. They carry our spiritual powers in body. He made the students sit in front of him in a meditation pose and made them look in his eyes. Then the boy or girl who used to sit in front of him rose in air. The powers of light or the pure, divine, the mystical energy used to envelop him, and slowly he used to come down. It was that simple. The boy or girl, from the looks, I bet, didn't even know what happened to them. All went as usual, all went, and I was at last freaking and hell of nervous, but also lot of curious. This ritual will not only give me powers but also tell me who my father was. It was going to give me my identity. From the faces of Parshuram, Vyas Muni, and Hanumans, also Narad Munis, I could tell that they could judge from the color of light, texture, height of lifting of the student's body. They can understand and estimate the god who had adopted the child and amount of power, the energy he had received from their godly father or mother. My turn came. The three teachers of mine leaned closer to me. Vyasamuni said to Naradji, he is the one we had spoken about. Okay, they had spoken about me before. I bet they had lengthy conversations about me, and I wished I was there. Never mind, I will know in few minutes. I had begun to sweat. I asked, sir, do you know my father? Naradji nodded negatively. My face fell down, but Vyasji said, relax. Now, my child, we will know soon. I took my position, crossed legs, hands straight on my knees, back straight, eyes straight inside Naradji's eyes. I got lost in those eyes, the eyes which looked like the petals of lotus flower, blue colored, which gave the warm and nourishing feeling of my own mother. When I got back to my senses, I was on bed, my all other friends, all 12 of them surrounding me. I couldn't get up. My whole body ached. I was sweating like anything. As soon as I opened my eyes, Kartik and Yogesh ran. They came back with three teachers and Naradji. I looked at them intense. What had happened to me? I remembered. We were having rituals. I remembered I had sat in front of Naradji for ritual. On my turn, I had opened my eyes in a school hospital. No one had gone sick. If I am right. Parshuram sir smiled at me and then said, relax for now, my son. Naradji offered me a drink, saying, here, drink this. This is Somras or Amrut, the nectar or elixir. It will heal you up. I drank the sweetest drink that day, sweeter than honey or even sugar I had tasted. Then I asked, what happened? Parshuram said, don't worry, son. We will speak tonight on our rounds. They checked my health and left my chambers. That drink had a good effect on me. In some time, I was able to sit up. I asked my friends what had happened to me. Rita was going to tell me when Vedika said, "See, Adi, even we don't know exactly. It's better Parshuram sir tell you." I was pretty freaked off. No one else had any of that sort. No one had passed out but me. We had our dinner that night, and I intentionally managed to get the sit closest I could possibly manage to our teacher's table. Nothing came out on that end. The entire effort was useless. All teachers were discussing about Narad Muni's current life and his journey through the universe. I settled my emotions. We were on the edge. What was going on with me? I was having the feeling that my life had become ground zero for the term pretty messed up. After dinner, I went on my floor, on second floor, and sat in silence in darkness, and I sat still, tears rolling down my eyes. There was a storm of emotion in my heart. Just when I was going deep down in the cyclone of emotions, I was pulled back by Ashwathama. He said, "Guruji has called you." I felt relief. Finally, Guruji, that's Parshuram, had called me. I went to Parshuram's office. He greeted me enthusiastically. "Oh, here's my favorite student. Come on, let's go for a walk." Parshuram took me to the terrace again. On the terrace, Parshuram said, "Look at the stars. Up there, it doesn't fit. Where do you think it should be to suit the sky?" I was confused. I was like, "What is all this?" But I gazed up, saw three stars in a straight line. I don't know their name or anything, but I said, "Three stars up there." I said, pointing up, "Will surely like that star's company." And trust me, in front of my eyes, the star left this place and joined the three stars. Parshuram smiled and looked at me. I was like, "How can you do that?" Parshuram said, "Not me, my son, it was you who did that." I said, "What?" But ignoring me, he said, "Do you like to see the fire dancing?" I nodded. Then he lit a lamp and said, "Request the fire." I was like, "What's all this about?" But politely I said, "Fire, will you dance for me?" And the flames started dancing gracefully, beautifully on the music created by themselves. It was one of the best scenes I'd ever witnessed. I saw the fire take shape of women and dance with grace. Parshuram smiled, then he asked me to do same things with water. The water in a bucket danced in the forms of fountains, slowly taking forms of fishes, dolphins, butterflies, birds, and many more. The trees danced for me, the stones juggled themselves in air. Parshuram then said, "So, my dear son, you have got lots of power, the limits of which we don't know yet." I nodded. I could actually feel the power inside of me. I sat down on the bench and asked Parshuram sir. So my body felt weak because my father gave me extra power, means more than others. Parshuram looked at me in my eyes lost deep down in them, thinking hard and deep, as if lost somewhere in the chains of thoughts. Then he said, "No, my son, no. Not because of that. There are other reasons." I was confused, but Parshuram continued, "Your father's powers were not opened like any other kid's Kundalini." I was confused, but Parshuram went on. "The procedure took place in a different way." I asked, "Different way? What do you mean?" Parshuram smiled and said, "Perhaps Rita will like to show you a video she recorded on her cell phone." I nodded. Then he said, "After you have seen the video, visit Vyasamuni. He will like a word with you." I smiled, then asked, "By the way, you saw my past, so now do you know who my father is?" I was very eager. Parshuram smiled and said, "No, my friend, you have got the powers of many gods, you see. Fire, water, sky, land, many." "So what?" I asked. He smiled and said, "So it's difficult to make a guess. We don't know what all powers you possess and the amount of power you possess." I was doomed. I was the person with powers I don't know. A god as my father, but I don't know. My life had a purpose, but what I didn't know. So, in short, I was the person who was standing in a black hole, not knowing anything about what's going on. I went to sleep late, got up early, and had a cold water bath. Cold water on my body relaxed my muscles. At breakfast, I got a word from "Today our guest lectures will start." I wondered who the guest lecturers will be. After questioning, I was told they were minor gods like Dhanvantri and Annapurna and Vishwakarma. Then we have Saptarishi, etc. After my physical training, I went to Rita and told her, "Parshuram sir has asked me to see the video you recorded." She sent it to me via Bluetooth, thanks to modern days wireless technology. After seeing the video, I was going to my floor when Vyasamuni ran into me in the corridors and asked me to join him in his chambers. There in his chambers, he asked me to play the video. I did. As I was told, I saw the video. I was sitting in front of Narad Muni looking in his eyes, just like everyone. Then I floated in air, just like all had. The light circled me, just like everyone. Then the weird thing happened. My body split in five parts. I could see five of me. Okay, I was scared seeing this. Then one of my part turned in fire, other in water. Third looked like it was made of soil. Fourth looked like it was made up of sky. I could see still dark blue color with stars in me, and last look it was of transparent made of air. Then again in few minutes all the five forms came together and my single body was formed again. After that light covered me and I saw seven circles on my body forming one right on top of my head, second at the back of my head, and five down my spinal cord. Then the light faded slowly and I dropped down and lay unconscious. Vyasamuni said this was not only Kundalini Jagruti, my son, this was Panchamabhuto Jagruti. The act scared, very rare, and only few were successful to do it. It cannot be done without God's blessing, and those who have done this before have all been noted down in myth, and legend. They have done huge and vast things, the things unimagined and never dreamed of by any living souls. The words which scared me even more. What's going on? Were the words I wanted
Chapter
to
11.
scream. But the calm sea before storm. I just nodded to Vyasamuni and returned to my room, where I sat and tried to analyze my situation. I was stuck in. Well, I can't describe without the metaphor black hole, but the fact is, after that day, I was treated differently. My friends whispered about me, but when I came near them, they changed the subject. On the dinner tables and other time in staff rooms, teacher used to talk about me. The thing is about me, not with me. And I hated that. All treated me separately. Lots of secrets were kept from me, and I was frustrated. Our guest lecturers also started. My routine was set. My life was cool. I had even gathered courage and had started holding hands with Vedika openly. Flirting with her was now regular. Once in a while, would talk to my mom. She had settled in a new place, got a new job and all. Everything was cool till the thunder struck. It was a regular day. We were having our breakfast in the hall, some fruit salads, milk, and brown bread and butter, my favorite menu for breakfast in the school. That was the time when we were all fresh and healthy. I was sitting at one of the table. To my left side was Vedika as usual, and right was Rita. And Rudra was telling a story of some horse he owned back home. Yes, I know, our school was the part of mythology, but trust me, it was extra high tech on Fridays. We even watched English movies on projector. Okay, so where was I? Yup, we were having our breakfast. When suddenly I didn't know what happened, my instincts told me, my sixth sense warned me or something, and I dug down the table. And right where my neck would have been, passed the arrow straight in the center of the table. To it was the paper scroll attached. The mood of the room changed to a sudden panic. Horror struck in everybody's nerves. Vyasamuni removed the arrow, pierced in the table, and untied the scroll. He read it and passed to Parshuram. Then the four of them, that is Vyas, Parshuram, Hanuman, and Ashwathama, went to the chambers of Parshuram. We were guaranteed not to worry by Kripacharya and told us to complete the breakfast. I somehow managed to finish my sandwich and went to the floor of the Parshuram's chambers. I wanted to know what was it. I was tired of secrets and was dead sure this one will be kept as highly classified. At least from me, because somehow I was the target. But I wanted to write my own fate, change the course of events, wanted to know what the secrets were. So I remembered my training and requested the wind to create a vacuum from the room to my ears and push the noise to my ears. In 2 to 3 seconds, I was able to hear the conversation. Vyasamuni was saying, "See, it's clearly saying, the wounds of past will be avenged, the gate will be opened, the blessed ones will be slaughtered, and the unclaimed will be burned alive." Parshuram was saying, "Clearly, this message is from hell. The devils want the revenge for their innumerous failures in wars." Hanuman was saying, "Yes, but this time they're not against gods, they're against kids, the blessed ones." Vyasamuni said, "Yes, and especially against unclaimed. That is Adi." A cold horror struck me. The demons were targeting me? Why? What did I ever do to piss them off? No, 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 this can't be happening. Parshuram said, if they want war, I will give them a war. Vyasamuni said, no, Parshuram, no, it's their war. Hanuman said, so you want us to sit here and let these innocent kids march in the war against those devils and demons from hell? Vyasamuni said, even if one of you or any other god enters the war will take a size we don't want. Entire earth will turn into the battlefield, humanity will be eradicated. We don't want that. That's the reason these blessed ones are blessed for. That's the purpose of their life. Parshuram said, then we must tell Adi. Vyasamuni said, no, not yet. Let's find out what exactly is the matter. Right now, we only know some devil wants to kill him. But who? Why? Let's find out. Till then, it's secret. Saying so, they walked out of the room, tensed. Vyasamuni caught on what I had done immediately. He said, look, no need to tell him. He already knows. Parshuram came and patted my back. Don't worry, my son, don't worry. I said, why the hell should I worry? I am with Parshuram and Hanuman. Let those devils coming after me worry. And the fact was, I meant those words. I was not afraid. Rather, I felt happy, I felt proud. I had won. I had won the fight against my fate. One thing which was meant to be secret from me was now no more a secret. Parshuram came to me and said, son, this is our secret. Don't tell anyone else just yet. For the first time, I had one secret, the secret that someone wanted me dead. That day, Hanuman took all lectures, which means there was lots of exercise and lots of sports, little bit of wrestling also. I know Hanuman is a great warrior and also very knowledgeable god. That is the reason he has described as Ashtasiddhi no Nidhi ke Data, which means he who is the master of knowledge, arts and crafts in simple languages. But he didn't take those classes as respect to the teachers. He spent the time in playing with the boys. They played football, basketball, kabaddi, kho and many more games. I was not there enjoying. I was told to sit down in the office with Parshuram and Vyasamuni. Later that day, Ashwathama came, and with him was the man who introduced us, Bibhishan. Lord Parshuram showed him the note. He read it calmly, trying to grasp everything, then said, I am a demon by birth. I am king of demons as Lord Sri Rama made me. But this is not my work. I am a king without any army and without subjects beside. I am always on sides of gods and to the side of justice. Parshuram said, brother, we are not accusing you. We have called you for help. Do you know anything about this? He nodded negatively, then said, but if they are rising, they are rising from hell. And all the demons in hell are in part of hell where Bali rules. He might know. Do you know? Do you think he will help? Hanuman asked. Vyasamuni said, no, he will not. God tricked him once. He deserved to rule the earth and sky. As he was forced to abandon both and go to hell. He fulfilled his promise, but he's angry ever since. Parshuram asked, do you think he might be involved here in some way? Vibhishan gave a negative reply. No, he has grudges against gods. If he reigns, he must have reasons and power both to challenge gods themselves in heaven. He will not come against some child. Besides, he is tied by his words, principles, and ethics. He will never claim what he has given in charity to gods. He is the person of honor. The only thing which this info did to me was it rose the feeling of respect in my heart for the immortal demon named Vibhishan, who might know then who this is. Was the question still on table? Vibhishan said, I will try to pull some strings. Saying so, he patted my head. I bowed down to touch his feet for blessings and my sword handle, which was tied to the back of my belt, became visible. Vibhishan looked at it curiously. I caught his stare and removed the sword. Blade came out like always. I gave the sword in his hand. Looking at the sword, he kept thinking for quite a while. The intensity of his flow of thoughts was clearly visible in his eyes. His eyes sparkled. A smile came on his face. He was thinking a lot. His eyes were fixed on the blade, but he was not there. He was somewhere else. I knew it. Then he as if remembered something and said, Son, promise me never to remove this blade out. Not until I tell you. And he left the room. All were looking at him in astonishment. Vyasamuni smiled. Think. He has finally got few leads. Saying so, they continued discussing. I was not allowed to leave the room, or rather, I was not allowed out of their sight. God help me, die, was the emotions rising
Well,
from
the
the bottom of
prophecy.
my heart.
The teachers were discussing, and I was sitting on the chair or pacing in the room, looking out of windows. But mostly, I was trying to grasp everything teachers were discussing. The discussion was going on as they had to leave the World War III. Okay, it was much more dangerous. After a good hour or so, Bibhishan came. He was holding a huge book in his hand, along with few small ones. He laid them on the table. I could bet by looking at the books and Bibhishana that these books were from the library of the school. He held the book open to a page. On it were the words, which Bibhishan was eager to show all my teachers. They were, "He will carry a blade from hell, and his origins will be unknown. On the white horse he will ride." Then he looked at everyone. Okay, so my blade was made in the hell. Lord Parshuram has told it few days back. The metal of my blade of my sword was from hell, and my parents or godparent who had adopted me was unknown. One of the biggest mystery, even for most wise godly figures like Vyas, Hanuman, and Parshuram. And yes, sure, I can ride a white horse. I had learned it. The only problem was to find one. Our school stable had all black stallions. Hanuman took the book in his hands and turned to the cover page, the Akashvani. I had heard about it. This book told future, or Akashvani said what will happen in future. But till today, I used to think Akashvani by its literal meaning and think Akashvani was the word spoken by sky. Now I know it was the collection of prophecies, and the terror was it had mentioned me. The book which had told about Krishna and Kans, about Rama and Ravan, was also telling about me. Oh God! I now knew it meant something, something bigger, and it made me scared and also proud. The book which was mentioned, these legends had few lines for me too. It was proud and scary both at the same time. Bibhishan said, "The writer of this book is unknown and is believed this book was written before this universe was even created." This gave me goosebumps. My fate was decided even before the universe started. Was the entire universe going to rotate around me? Then Vibhishan took out some other books and showed to my teachers. It said, "The white horse rider and the sword from hell will only stop this devil." Okay, so only I can stop this devil. But who was he? What was it? Third book said, "In a war of lords and demons, this demon had destroyed the whole universe and had gone to sleep. He slept hard and tight. While gods worked hard to make a new universe, he will rise once again just to destroy it all over again, only to quench his thirst of revenge. He will swallow the earth, swallow the moon and the sun. The humanity will be eradicated, and so will all the living beings be his meal. And then the heaven and gods, who their fate will be in the unclaimed hands." "What does this mean?" Hanuman asked. Vyasamuni said, "R is the universe recreated first when we made was entirely destroyed by some demon. After destruction, that demon went to sleep. Now he is rising again." Bibhishan said, "Yes, he must be at least 10,000 times more powerful than both my brothers combined." Hanuman gave a look of disbelief. "You have heard stories of Ravana and Kumbhakaran and their powers. Now imagine 10,000s of them together. So who is it? And what do we do now? His name is not given and we don't know what to do now." They spent few more hours. I was like super bored. I know you will hate my guts and attitude, but few things were above me to believe, even in my life where I was trained by gods and legends. Like, for an instant, demons were powerful, and that was the beginning. I thought my B first universe was very, very small compared to this one. By that night, all my group members and other students also had the idea that something was going terribly wrong. The group of my friends comforted me at night on my bed. Rita was in the lead. "What's going on? You better tell us now." I was just about to mention something when Parshuram came in my room. Looking at the group, he said, "Good news for you. Your guest lecturers are cancelled for some time, so in that period, feel free to watch your English sci fi movies. Now go to sleep." But Vedika concerned him instead. "Sir, sorry, but we have to know what's going on." Parshuram smiled and said, "Okay, here's deal. There's one demon who looks like a snake or a huge snake who is in demon form. Whatever you want to call him, you can. He's coming up and he wants the life of your friend Adi." I looked at him. "Is that all?" He smiled. "Yes." Vedika said, "A snake. How big it can be? The size of anaconda?" "Okay, a demon also. So twice
as big as it. We can deal with it, right? Parshuram said last time he rose, he had swallowed 1/4 of the Milky Way of our galaxy, including planets, stars, sun, asteroid, and everything. Gods have spent nearly 20 billion years to remake it. You might not have heard of it because it's one of the time our this solar system also did not exist. Veda smiled, said, "Nice joke, sir, but seriously, how big is that snake?" Parshuram looked at him. "Are you dumb? I just told you now. No one was going do by that. It seemed far much of cocktail and far fetched, with miles and miles away from the fact. Vyasamuni joined us then and said when he was sleeping, gods made him in a jail and locked him up there. It's one part of the hell. There are demons down he can control with telepathy. Also, Bali, the king of demons in hell, thinks that Snake will get his ready made army, the army which is capable of 100 Ashwamedha Yadna or 100 horse sacrifice, that is the army strong enough to take all gods and humans together. And what does he want? Rita asked. Vyasamuni smiled. To begin with, for starters, life of Adi. I smiled and said, by any chance, can that worm be killed or defeated? Rita said, he swallowed the whole planets, so his mouth is bigger than the planet. You can't even see its both ends. I tried to reason. See, he has swallowed the planet, so he is massive, but if he is trapped in hell, its mouths are smaller than hell. Then how did he swallow? Before Vedika could complete her sentence, I went on. See, it's a snake, so it can coil itself. What I think is it is big and lengthy. So big it can dry, it can circle itself to a new planet, at least with its body, but not as big to swallow the whole planet. It must have been broken the planets to pieces, then swallowed them. So this narrowed down the size at least 10 times than you all are thinking. All nodded, but no one was feeling easy about it. No one could. For all we knew, whole world, or the entire universe for the matter, was at stake. And we were at the front. I personally felt as if I'm standing at the center of Big
Chapter
Bang.
13. The Journey to Ramalok. That night I was sleeping on my bed thinking about my current situation, thinking about all the stuff which had begun to go around me from my 16th birthday till the assassination attempt on me, along with the threat of demons. I thought of gods who can be my allies. I thought of Lord Shiva, then Lord Vishnu, then I thought of the snake. Lord Vishnu is sitting on the Sheshnag, the seven-headed snake who holds the entire universe on its fangs, and a smile crossed my face. I realized the snake we were talking about might be the size same as Sheshnag, or rather smaller than him because he swallows the universe. But Sheshnag holds the entire universe on its head or fang, including hell, which this serpent is imprisoned. Oh God, only if I could talk to Sheshnag. I wanted to talk to Sheshnag desperately, but how was I going to? I couldn't just ring him and question or send an email. I spent another night and whole day figuring the problem. At last I thought I had an option. I went to Hanuman and said, "So I want to have a word with Lord Lakshman, brother of Lord Ram." Hanuman said, "But for that you will have to go into Ramalok, or the part of heaven where Ram lived." I said, "Please take me there." Hanuman looked surprised but said, "Okay, it'll take only 5 seconds." He held my hands and told me to close the eyes. I felt a tickle in my stomach and then told me to open them. Hanuman had teleported me to Ramalok. I was sitting in an entirely different place. Yes, I was sitting on floor. Hanuman was at my side standing. "Now go on, my son. There he's sitting on the couch. Ask him what you want to about the snake," he said. Okay, so even Hanumanji could read minds like Parshuram. I went and stood in front of Lakshman. Hanuman introduced me. Lakshman, the man of armor with a sword and bow with arrow, greeted me with the words, "Why are you so late? I had been expecting you from the time the arrow missed its marks. But then again, I guess you need the time to figure everything. I wanted to come down and shout everything in your ears, but you know we can't interfere. Fate must be as it is sealed." And he laughed with all his heart. He went on, "Okay, ask my child what you want to ask." I looked at him and asked, "I was told you were the form of Sheshnag. Is it true?" Lakshman looked at me and smiled and then said, "My friend, he blessed me just the way you are blessed, only a thing is he gave me his powers and also put part of his soul in conscious mind. That is the difference between avatars and Devputra or Ansh avatar like you." I said, "Okay, so your mind is connected to Lord of Snakes, right?" He smiled, "Yes." I proceeded, "So we are having a danger of snake and the only equal I think to Sheshnag. I was confused what to say. I was intimidated by the authority Lord Lakshmana's personality initiated. And I had somehow managed to utter these words. Lakshmana said, "Yes, I know, but I have taken Samadhi. I am in deep sleep, so can't return to earth. And this is the battlefield, my son. We are tied by laws created for the functioning of the universe." I smiled. "I understand, sir. I totally get it. I'm not asking you to come and fight my battle. I just came to seek knowledge as to how can a snake as big as him be defeated." Lakshmana smiled. "So you want to know how you can defeat Kalsapra? Okay, I will give you a few pointers. Due to the size of his body is well coordinated. It's not well coordinated. If you cut out his tail, it will take some time for him to feel pain and yet some more time to understand what has happened. Also, his venom is flammable. Eyes are hypnotizing and his body has scales only which can be cut through the celestial ferocious or something equal to it." Hanumanji asked, "How do you know this?" "To Sheshnag or Lakshmana. He said we used to play together in childhood before this universe was created," and gave me a smile. Lakshman said, "My son, you have lived in the mortal world for the last 16 years. Have you heard the term of Kal Sarpa Yoga?" I simply said yes, the time period in the individual's life which is considered as bad patch. Lakshman said, "Well, you know what it is. This Kal Sarpa Yoga begins in life of a person when this demon dreams about the particular person. His dreams has the power to bring a person bad luck. Think what will happen if he is fully awake." Hanuman said, "Can this young boy take on to him?" Lakshman said, "He is as big as me, only one mouth." Hanuman gasped in terror. "Will you, Sheshnag, help us?" Hanuman requested Lakshman and said, "If we both will engage in battle, the universe will be small." Hanuman, "I will enter only if it becomes that much necessary." Lakshman looked at me, then said, "Listen, my boy, if the time will prove it's necessary, out of 7 mouths or fangs, 1 fang will come to help. But this is your battle, you have to fight it. Remember, size doesn't matter. What matters is how you fight." I touched Lakshman's feet and Hanuman took me back to school. The same way by teleporting. Actually, I would have liked to make Sheshnag himself, not his part of consciousness. But the thought that I'm standing in front of a snake that big horrified me. When I appeared in my bed with Hanuman, all my friends, Parshuram, Bhivishan, and Ashwathama, were looking there tensed. Vedika burst out, "Where the hell had you gone?" Hanuman said, "Don't worry, he was with me. Now you guys go back to your rooms. We and Parshuram sir has something really important to discuss about. Don't worry guys, he will speak with you tomorrow." Saying so, Hanuman literally pushed all the boys out of the room and closed the door in their face. He then told others, Vyasamuni, Parshuram, Ashwathama and all, what had happened. My general thinking of Sheshnag or visit to Ramlok in heaven. Talk with Lakshman and all. Ashwathama looked at me. Good, thinking kid. Now what's your next step? What are you planning? I said, frankly, I'm not yet on a plan. I just thought it's wise to get some information on the snake when you told me about it. I've heard it's better to have knowledge about the enemy before marching on it. He nodded. After some more discussion, all went to their chambers. As soon as the teachers left, my friends, who were hiding somewhere out there waiting for the squad of my teachers to go, entered my chambers. I again had to explain the same things to them. They asked me if I had some plan. I gave a negative nod. They all reassured me if I needed them, they will help me, and left. I lay on my big bed. One more sleepless night was going to be added to my autobiography, but my heart was telling me something new was going to happen. I somehow knew my life was going to change its course. I didn't know how, but I felt help on its way. I lay closing my eyes. 14. I felt the new friend. Lying on the bed, in my sleep that night I dreamt. In my dream I saw the very big snake, bigger than an anaconda. I was lying in front of it and it was hissing, Adi, I'm coming for you. Its size and vicious look in eyes made me sweat in my dreams. I woke up shaking by that horrible dream. I was thinking, if in a dream it horrifies me this much, what will it do when it comes in front of me? It was that moment I made my mind I can't live my life haunted by the snake. I have to face it and eliminate it or die trying to do it. I drank cold water from the bottle and laid on my bed again. Strangely, when I was sleeping, the doors of my room... Oh, who am I kidding? Come on, guys, it's a mansion. So doors of my chambers closed. I had left it open after last night's, all over this dramatic situation and series of actions and reactions. I was too tired to get up from my bed and walk till the door.
If you don't remember, I had told you how big my room was, where I was dumped in. That too, because my father hadn't claimed me. So, yes, the doors of my chambers closed. I couldn't see anybody. I drew my sword and started at my instincts. I could sense no one, but again the doors were very heavy, and in no universe a breeze or wind can even move them. I asked, "Who is it?" The voice of a girl came. "I am your friend. Came forward and let me see you, then shall I decide." I said. The voice replied, "I shall come forward and prove to you that I am a friend and not a foe. But first keep your sword away." While it was a calculated risk, I was tempted to take because of the voice who was calling me her friend and can become invisible. I kept the sword away on bed, but assuring myself I can pick it up if it comes to that. Then I saw a figure standing at distance of 2 arms. A figure of a girl, only something was different about her. Okay, did I say something? Let me correct myself. A lot was wrong with her. To begin with, she was near about of my age, but that is all. She had skin as white as cotton, and she was made of smoke. While walking, she could walk through my furniture. Her eyes changed color every 10 seconds, and her hair, which touched her shoulders. It was hard to tell if they were black or dark blue, but looked like a flowing river, smooth and flawless. She was dressed in a formal jeans top and was completely mystical creature with personality unseen and unimagined. She looked beautiful and also dangerous. First time I knew the meaning of deadly beauty. I was seeing it right now. I asked, "Who are you?" She said, "I am the daughter of Yum." I looked at her confused, then said, "That's absurd and rubbish. Lord Yum can't bless anyone." The girl smiled. "The way you mortal think with your half knowledge and no understanding of life after that, can't stop myself laughing. See, here's the deal. You are half correct, the sentence must be, Yum can't bless anyone from a mortal world." I looked at her confused. She said, "Death is just the beginning of my dad's reign. He can bless a soul when they are being born in his kingdom. That is, he can bless and adopt children when they are dying in your world and taking birth in Pitrulok. This is part of hell where my father rules." I looked at her confused. She said, "Don't worry us, the children of Yum don't have the body, I'm a ghost." As if I had not figured it out by now. But still I was astonished a little. She looked like a perfect human mortal girl except for the skin color and other things like hair and eyes. You will notice only after close observations. I thought she can easily pass from the girl from where West might be, Switzerland or England. She was still trying to explain she was a ghost or a soul or someone from other life. So to prove it, she passed through the wall and came back. I had already seen her walk through my bed and cupboard. I asked, "Then why force me to put that sword away?" She smiled. "This sword is from my father's kingdom. It can even kill ghosts, or it is made to kill the ghost. If you had been holding any other weapons, I would not have cared at all." And she gave a laugh, the laugh hard to explain. It was the morbid laugh, but I was hypnotized by it. I said, "Okay, so why are you here?" She said, "I'm here to help you," and waited for my reaction, but I gave none. I was lost in a voice. It was musical. She went on. I Chapter 14, Part 2. She said, "I'm here to help you," and waited for my reaction, but I gave none. I was lost in her voice. It was musical. She went on, "But you have to promise me that you will not tell anything about me to anyone, not even Lord Parshuram." I nodded my head affirmatively. She continued, "My father is shy, so he doesn't like to let other gods know he has good heart, and he adopts babies and cares for them. It kind of doesn't fit into his image. Nah, so." I smiled. She continued, "Because of my father, I've got two powers. One is I can disappear and be so distinct no one can feel me or sense me. You saw Vyasa Muni Parshuram. No one could sense me, unless I want them to. After all, I am the daughter of death. You know, Adi, death becomes your shadow the day you are born, but you cannot feel it till the time death doesn't feel it important to reveal itself to you." I nodded and she continued, "And you know death is the ultimate truth, the final justice, the most divine law and the greatest philosophy of life, the most deepest secret so. I have the power to get the power of truth, that is knowledge." I certainly pricked up my ears. "So you know who my father is?" She said yes and no. But even if I did know, I would not tell who he is. I gave her a sulky look, but she continued, "Because you are not claimed, and that's for the reason." I was habituated of negative remarks till now. I had got for the first time a positive reply, so I did not force her. I though let my friendship become good at first, then I will ask her, and also I was thinking, how do I trust her? I had an arrow attack, a demon snake wants to kill me, and I had never met her before. So I asked, what is it? She said, you know, I am like a princess of the hell. I go anywhere I want. I got to know about this matter and did some investigation myself. I gave her a questioning look. She said, just look. Saying so, she handed me my cell phone. Sorry, I had borrowed it. Check the videos. I was wondering when the hell did she take my cell phone? Also, how did she pass a security password? Wait a minute. Isn't it wrong and unethical to sneak in someone's cell phone and computers? She read my thoughts. It's unethical in your world. Privacy stuff is not something in my world. Everyone knows everything about everyone. This is the reason it is called the land of Dharma and Satya, where nothing is hidden, no secret, she said. I replied, except that land is the biggest secret, sarcastically. She laughed and I opened the video folder. In it, there were two videos. In first video, I saw a demon might be as big as 30 feet, two horns, more black than coal, red eyes, cannons in a mouth like vampire. Wearing a tiger skin with a bow on shoulders, with the quiver filled with arrows, kneeling before the snake's jaw, which was closed, but still at least double than the demon. The demon said, Your Highness, the message is delivered, the way you told. A spear with the letter. The letter contained the words you asked. The snake just shook the jaws, a tongue came out and licked the demon, then went inside his jaw again. After that, snake's jaw opened. Its tongue went inside again and grabbed the demon and pulled it inside the mouth. The snake didn't even chew, and the demon was at least 30 feet and weighed at least 1,000 kilograms. The jaw was so big that I can personally guarantee it can swallow 2 to 3 Empire States building at once. I shivered seeing who was coming after me. Then I played the second video. It was a top view of the huge snake, shining black in color. It had spots on him just like any other snake, but they were huge diamonds. The snake had black diamonds for his scales. The video was just made to cover its entire length, and I ran for more than 2.5 hours. The camera of my cell was powerful and could record things at huge distance quite clearly. She said the distance of length of snake has to be at least 10 crores kilometers. I simply nodded. Yes, now seeing at the snake that wanted to kill me, it had struck a fear. She continued. There were 6 snakes in past. Sheshnag, Eravat, Kalia, Vasuki, Takshak and Kal Sarpa. Then gods gave each other one of them a place to survive and live. Settle down responsibilities. They were accepted and recognized. Sheshnag was at bottom of the universe in Vaikunt Lok, the heaven of Vishnu. Vasuki in Shiva Lok, in the heaven of Lord Shiva. He is now the garland of Shiva, the king of snakes. Airavat in Himalayas, Kalia in the river Yamuna, from where he was relocated to sea by Sri Krishna. Takshak in the gardens of Lord Indra. When this was going on, Kal Sarva was roaming in the vacuum of universe at the far corner, somewhere in river Vaitrani. It's a river now in Pitrulok which flows with souls of dead. When he came back and found what had happened, he became outraged. He started destroying the universe. He was forgotten and felt and insulted. He was outraged. One of the biggest snake was forgotten by few gods who together will not be able to even fill his appetite for breakfast. He hated their guts. They were disrespectful. He was ignored and hence outraged. He wanted to get revenge. I nodded. So now do you think this big snake, any of them will help against Kal Sarpa? She nodded negatively. No, Adi. All are given duties and are busy in it. And if 2 big snakes fight, the universe will get destroyed. I nodded. Lord Lakshman also said the same things. She gave again her magical smile. He said it for a reason. Okay, then what can we do? I said. She said, okay, let me give you a hint. And her morbid yet attractive laugh went on for a few minutes.
While she was laughing, I was thinking she can be trusted. If she wanted me to die, she should have tried an attack or two by now. Also, she would not have given me information with actual video proof of my enemy. She read my thoughts and said, You are sweet and smart not to trust easily, but have you made up your mind whether to trust me or not? I smiled and said, Yup, if I am being played, I will show the sportsmanship and play along. And I know my sword is something you fear, so I am in. Tell me what is going on in your mind and what to do now. She said, Okay, let's see. You're holding the sword from hell. Why? Because that's your playground. At hell, you will be thousands of times more powerful than on earth. This blade your father gave, the sword to kill ghosts and demons in hell. It was given for the reason. Or at least, that's what I guess. I looked at her for a second and then said, So you mean I must go to hell and fight him? She looked at me as if I was dumb. Duh, that's what I said. You know that hell will give you power, and main importantly, if he comes on earth, the destruction will be huge, and the last, he will never expect the attack in hell. He will be thinking he will come on earth. Then we will fight back. Let's kill him while he's still sleeping. I thought the argument of her for some time going through each side whether I should take the risk or not. Should I go in hell or wait on the land? Should I speak with other teachers or blindly trust this ghost girl whom I had just met? If not to trust her, what were other options? I knew teachers were still keeping secrets and a bit of overprotective. Besides, the demons are behind me, it's my duty to go after them, and also she had few points in there, which I really liked. I thought that all I would get from school were arguments, why not to go? Here I thought was the only person who was arguing why I should go. I had it, hated being overprotected, and even though my power increasing in hell, I did not trust it, but the idea of getting offensive when opponent accepts you to be defensive is a good war strategy. In history lectures in my earlier normal life, I had studied one of the greatest kings. Shivaji Maharaj had done the same thing against Shahiste Khan. He had entered directly in his chambers and attacked him. Even though Sheikhstan had survived the attack, he ran for the fear of his life. Okay, so you do have a plan? She I asked. She nodded. Not a plan. Have an outline of it. I got interested. Okay, go on. She said, Okay, I see. I will borrow the blazer of my father, the coat of death, which will make you invisible. Then you will carry the weapon hidden inside it, go to him while he's sleeping, and kill him. I looked at her, then said, My sword. I will kill him with the sword. She smiled and said, Didn't you see the size of him in video? Your sword will not even be a mosquito bite for him. We need the weapon of his size and the caliber to kill him. I will look at her again with the question mark in my eyes. She said, Your sword will kill normal demons or even bigger demons. But Karl Sarp, nope. One more puzzle, so you know where I can get such weapons? She nodded. I think I can give a pretty good guess. Where? I asked. At the bottom of the sea, she said. I looked at her eyes. Yes, you have to tell me more. She smiled again and said, Many years ago, gods and demons came together and they sort of removed the butter from the ocean. I asked means. She looked irritated but explained to me with patience. They stirred the whole sea. They took a huge mountain, put it in the sea on the back of huge turtle. Then they tied the snake, Vasuki, to it. Gods held the tail of the snake and demons the head of him, and they pulled the snake. Like that, they stirred the entire sea, and many new elements came out of from the sea. I nodded. I'd heard the story of Samudra Manthan when I was kid from my grandparents, so my friend during the whole stirring thing, Vasuki, one of the most mighty snake, lost its two front teeth. They lie down in the bottom of the sea yet today. I said, So you mean those big teeth? Yes, she said. See, Vasuki is as big as Kal Sarpa, so his teeth will be a weapon for Kal Sarpa. We can have them only thing we have to find them. And how do we do that? I eagerly asked. She gave me a stare as if telling me I was fool, then said, You underestimate my power and intelligence, my friend. You forget I am daughter of death. The truth and knowledge are my power. 2 days ago, the golden whale, or the king of oceans, the king of whales, died. And you know what? She smiled before continuing. One of my pastime is chit-chatting with the souls which come to my dad after they have died. So when the soul of mighty whale came, I had a little chit-chat with it. A soul with real royalty, a very, very pleasant personality with great and vast storage of knowledge, very eager to share. You know something? He knows every corner of the seas and ocean, every route. He know all the stories, legends and myths ever told. He know all the legends who have traveled sea, all the snakes and fishes you know. He had even spent some time with other great snakes, Kalia, who was sent to ocean by Lord Krishna. So what do I do now? Was the question I was dying to know. She said, Now you sleep. Tomorrow night we will go to Kacha Lok. We will take those teeth from there, then go to the Hatekshvara, the entrance to hell. That demon you see in video had opened it. From there we become invisible. Go to the snake, kill him and come back. Okay, 2 questions. Why do you want to help me? This was the question I was wondering for a while now, and it really was playing mind games with me. She looked at me and then said, Frankly, I don't care about any living soul, but I want my father to be proud of me. I want to give him the soul of Karl Sarp. You know,
After Yudhishthir or Dharmaraj, none of the children of my dad are known. None of from even this school knows my father have children. He's lonely. I don't like to see him like that. She had put all her feelings in those words. It was heavy to see a ghost with such intense feelings. Okay, I bought it, she went on. So it's like I helped you, you kill it, I take the soul to my dad, make him happy, make him proud. So are you kind of using me? I asked. She smiled. Do you have a problem with it? And smiled and then said, no. It's just like if we work together, we both get to achieve our aims. Fair enough, I thought. Second question, what's your name? I asked. Sorry, but can't tell you, she said promptly. I was taken aback by this reply. Oh God, we are on our way planning to assassinate one of the biggest snake in the universe, and you don't trust me with your name seriously? She said and smiled. I am a soul Adi, so I don't remember my mortal name, or let's say I don't know if I were a girl in my last life to begin with. It's complicated, my friend. See, it's like if I tell you my name, my real name, you get the authority to tear my soul down. What? I asked. I didn't get a word of what you said. She explains. The names which you have heard on earth are names of the body. Your soul has a different name, the name which is recorded in the books of Chitragupt. In hell or heaven, you are recognized by that name. And whoever knows that name has the right to order you do anything. And you are forced to do it. Those names are the powers by which souls are controlled, punished, and their fate is decided by gods. Those names are like password. I nodded like understanding. So you know mine? I asked. Nope, she said. Okay, then I said, let's decide a name by which I will call you then. Okay, she smiled. It sounds fun. Let's see. I then uttered that I am the daughter of death, so my first name must reflect death. Call me Mohini, the most attractive. Mohini is my name. I nodded, thinking, who the hell finds death attractive? But didn't say it aloud. She said, okay, listen, Parshuram and others, they must not know I ever existed. I nodded. She said, tomorrow your teachers will find out the doors of hell are open at Hatkeshwar. What is Hatkeshwar? I asked. She smiled. Look, do you know the Shiva temple at Gruneshwar? It's one of the sacred temples and comes in counts of major 12 temples of Lord Shiva. That is one of the Jyotirlingam. I nodded. She said, okay. On top of Jyotirlingam, you see, here is called Gruneshwar. But that sacred Shivling stone goes deep down inside the hell where it's called Hatkeshwar. You mean that Shivling is so big and deep? I asked. Yes, she said. And at the back of the temple, there is one door which takes you down to Hatkeshwar. No ordinary man can see or figure it. The door trapped is covered by mist. You know, few people think it's true, some don't believe it, and other think it's myth, some even say it's fake. It's one of the stories which came from a very small group of folk tales and not very popular. Okay, I said, grasping the information. She said, so tomorrow they'll find out the door is opened. Tell them you want to close the doors. Tell them it will be busy time. They will give you a mission to close the doors, some students with you, and you will get out. I will meet tomorrow. We'll arrange for the black pearls for all of us for speedy transport. And for your information, black pearls are a mode of transport of death givers. The one who takes lives called as Yamadut or Kaladut, so the fastest travel. I nodded. Okay, now go to sleep, but before that, wear this saying so. She handed me a Rudraksh bead in chain. It was big. She said it's 14 Mukhi Rudraksha, or the Rudraksh beads with 14 faces, 14 parts of distributing on it. It is most rare. Lord Shiva himself wears it. It will help you when anyone tries to read your thoughts or control your mind. It will create barriers if Kal Sarpa tries to locate you or do any voodoos. Your mental strength will be enveloped by this Rudraksha. Saying so, she left. Trust me, I couldn't sleep. I hadn't seen Kal Sarpa and planned to kill it. That was too much stress. As soon as she went, I felt my whole body wet. I was in a state of panic. After some time, I fell asleep. I clearly remember in my sleep. I heard the noise. You have chosen your action, my son. Live by it. My blessings are with you, and I am proud of your decision. It was a dream. I did not see the face. It was all dark black tunnel, but I knew it was my dad. I knew it was the God. In my dream, after waking up, I thanked Father 1,000 times and asked thousands of questions, but I was not even sure if a single word from my mouth reached him. The only thing I was sure was he had sent his blessings, and the words, I am proud of you, kept coming back to me again and again. I felt really proud. I was eager to tell everyone. For the first time, my father, the God who was unable to contact me or was not contacting me, had finally spoken with me in my dreams for the first time. He was proud of the path I had chosen. Pretty big to me. One thing I was sure was, even though it was a dream,
it was really happening by telepathy or something. I knew that was for sure. Next morning, I washed myself in hurry, changed myself for the Rudraksh bead, the gift from Mohini which I had removed while sleeping, as it was pricking me in sleep. Then I ran to breakfast hall, eagerly to tell everyone my father had spoken with me. He had finally gone back. When I went for breakfast, all the children were chatting. It comes out that yesterday night everybody's godly father had spoken to them in their sleep. They had also promised that they will help them whenever they need. The kids said they had received the link of some kind, a mental link with their kundalini by which they can stay in the touch with their godly parents. I felt miserable. I had received only blessings which stated my father was proud of me of nearly 2 sentences. But those 2 sentences meant a lot to me. Given my past experience with my father, this was a big step forward in our relationship. Today on the breakfast table, this was the topic of conversation. It was the hottest thing going on. Parshuram was listening to everybody patiently. Boys were saying my father emitted power throughout his body. Others said my dream was a three-dimensional graphic. It was like I was passing through the tunnel of many colors. Vyasamuni said, Vedika, tell us about your experience. It's first time the goddess of spirituality has adopted someone. Tell us, how was your dream? She smiled. It was not a dream. I felt I had actually left the world. I had gone someplace else. I was sitting on a big lotus on the sea of milk. There was sweet smell all around, and I was sitting beside Gayatri Mata. Music was being played in the background, and she said, Be ready, my child, and never fear. I'm always with you. Then she made me sit in her lap for some time. When I opened my eyes, I was in my bed. Ashwathama said, Well, that's a new one, but Vyasamuni said, I imagined somewhat like this, and smiled. The discussion went on. Some had dreams, some had talks, some had chats. Vedika had visited her mom. One thing was common, all had now means to communicate with their parents, except for me. Now Parshuram looked at me. He had a bit of hope in his eyes. I could tell. He asked me, Any luck for you, Adi? I smiled and said, As a matter of fact, yes. All were interested. They had to be. After all, who was my father was the most hot mystery, I think, in the entire mythological and mystical side of the world. Parshuram said, Go on. I said, It's not interesting as others. It was just a black three-dimensional place. I saw the water where I had lost the understanding of time and direction, distance and places was something which cannot exist. There in such a place, I just heard the voice, which was of thunder, and it said, Adi, I'm proud of you and my blessings will always be with you. That's all. I had eliminated some part as I had to keep secret of Mohini. Vyasamuni said, Adi, congrats. I said, Thanks, sir, but I hope it was more. I think I should at least have got the name of my father. Parshuram laughed. Adi, these congrats were not for your chat with your father. I gave a questioning look. Parshuram went on, Adi, your father took you to state zero, the condition which biggest yogis spend decades to achieve. The place where every mortal feeling goes away and you connect to an entire universe in such a way where the whole universe and you became one with the same. You became the part of something new, something big. You cannot directly to supreme power above you. You are really lucky. It's one more gift from your dad. From now on, when you meditate, imagine that feeling. Feel that feeling of yesterday night, and you will go to that state, connect with it. Feel the eternal peace away from all the mortal feelings and away from all the tension. I believe Vyasa Muni will be happy.
The execution. Just at that very moment, Vibhishan came in and whispered something in the ears of Parshuram. Lord Parshuram nodded and said, Okay, my friends, we have some news. The door of hell has opened. Till now, the story of the snake had spread pretty much. All knew about it. Now they were getting an official confirmation. I took the lead because I wanted to play this innings. Right from the beginning, I asked, Where is it? I asked it really innocently, and Parshuram told me again the same story of Hatkeshwara. I had heard last night. I nodded, then acting as if I was thinking. I really needed to control my thoughts as I knew Parshuram and Hanuman can read thoughts, and I had a pretty strong feeling even other teachers and few students knew the art of reading minds. So I brought my thoughts to what I wanted and said, Sir, if the doors are open now, they were closed till now. If they can be opened, I think it can be closed again. I took a dramatic pause, then said, Sir, give me a chance. I will go and close them. Sir Parshuram thought for a while. I could guarantee he was trying to read my thoughts. And due to lots of practice, and I was pretty sure due to Rudraksh bead in my neck, I was able to control my thoughts. The thoughts on only going to temple, finding the door and closing it. Hanuman, on the other hand, was thinking on a completely different angle. What if the snake attack is there? I smiled. If he comes out, he's going to attack anyway. This is the chance I would like to take. I have been taught the one who doesn't take risk is the one who doesn't fight for the survival. Besides, sir, if he comes out, it will be a total disaster. Hence, I would like to take this risk. I gave a face sulky but confident. The face which told I knew what I am doing. I am scared but willing to do it. Vyasamuni said, "Okay, my son, we will discuss your proposal and inform you." I nodded, hoping I will get the permission. All alone in my room, I sat on the bed. I had my laptop open with an intention of spending some time on a mission. On one of my favorite games I was into nowadays, when Mohini came. No hi, no hello, she came straight to point. Okay, listen, in your crew you will need one son of Vishwakarma at least, and take one child of Dhanvantri. No one cares of rest of the crew. I asked, okay, I get Dhanvantri for healing the wounds if situation goes south, but why Vishwakarma's son? She said, you know those teeth, one tooth is of 30,000 feet in height. How do you suppose to carry it? We will need the mechanic to build some trolley or cranes or something like to carry it. I simply nodded. She was the girl who knew what to say, how to say, and when to say. She was just the mystery. No one understood her. Well, I didn't understand her, but she understood everything. After all, she was the daughter of death. That afternoon, all my friends gathered on the second floor. On my bed, yes, entire group could sit comfortably on single bed. It was that big and I hated it. Vedika took the lead. What are you planning to do, Adi? I looked innocently at her and asked, what? She said, going to close the doors of hell and all. I nodded. Yes, I think it's the best thing to do. Close the doors off. Before I could say the word hell, I was interrupted. Cut the crap out and speak up, Adi. What are you up to? You know I can tell when you are onto something, she stormed back. Just at the moment, Parshuram and Vibhishan entered my chambers. I thanked them 1,000 times in my mind. This time, no. My son, or how are you, my child? The look was enough to tell he meant business this time. Parshuram came straight to the point. The Kala Sarpa is affecting the army of Bali in Patal or Hell. Vibhishan said, he has the power of hypnotism and telepathy. It can play with minds. There's a rebel starting in Hell. The demons of Bali's army want to come up. They want to roam on earth as they used to few thousands years ago. Now again they want to claim the heaven. So what does that mean? Rudra asked. Parshuram said it means if the gates of hell are kept open, there are two things which will happen for certain. First is the massive war between gods and humans against demons, and the second is Kal Sarpa will break the earth in pieces and swallow it. There was silence, the silence of death. Then Parshuram looked at me and said, what you proposed is the option we have to risk at the situation. Are you still willing to go in hell? I nodded. It was like a reflex. Even before I realized, Parshuram relaxed a bit, then told me to accompany with him in his chamber. There were a three-dimensional model of temple of Grushnevar. He said, look here, here's the opening. From here you have to go underground. In a passage inside, you will see a temple, the temple of Hatkeshwara. Saying so, he literally pulled me to the second table where he lay another three-dimensional model of another temple. He showed me a spot, then said, here you go inside till you reach the gates. Go and close the gates. They have one side latch and can be opened from only outside. Close them. Mind it. They are very big and heavy. Be careful not to be spotted. Close them. Shut them. Then you remember how you had made stones fly. Come out of the tunnel and do that again. See that this whole passage from this underneath the temple to the gates are closed. I simply nodded. Then he asked, do you want any company? I said I would like Rudra, the son of Vishwakarma, with me. He will help me with blocking of passage along with closing the doors. Also, I would like Agya, the daughter of Dhanvantri, for saver side. He nodded. Fair enough. Anyone else? I thought for a while and then said Rita will also help. She is the daughter of Saraswati and is good with, let's say, in many ways. He nodded. Then Parshuram said, take Jay and Lavanya, their parents are the best in dealing with black magic and demons down there. I simply nodded. I'd got my crew. Rudra, Agya, Rita, Jay, Lavanya and me. And yes, of course, my hidden ace card, Mohini. The crew of teenagers going to hell. Same evening, 6 of us were called and told to get ready for the mission. Vibhishan said, details have been told to Adi. Get ready, pack your snacks and get going. This is death crisis. All looked tense, but my reasons were different. How can I communicate to Mohini that we are moving? I just simply knew that she had gone to her Pitralok, to her father. Mohini, I screamed in my mind. All I knew that she had gone to borrow the invisible coat of death, which I had to wear and go in hell, and kill the Kal Sarpa who had destroyed half the universe and kill him with the teeth of snake that was now the garland of Lord Shiva. God, what had got myself in, and that too on the words of a girl who was a ghost and who was adopted by death. God, please kill me now. I was thinking of the times when I used to update my social networking status as complicated because I got scolding from my mother for misbehaving. I returned to my chambers. I was just going to spend as much time possible as in here and wait for her, and if necessary, leave a note for her. And my backup plan: if she doesn't show up, follow Lord Parshuram's instructions and just close the door. Association can be done anytime, and that worm can be eliminated anytime. Funny calling the snake who swallowed half the universe once a worm. I started packing. We were supplied with armors. You see the way Roman army wears in the Shakespeare plays. Just like that, all with breastplate, shoulders, hand guards, thighs guard, and all. A shield, bow, and quiver of arrows, swords, and a spear. This came in weaponry section. Then we had ration, that is bread, fruits, and salad vegetables, and a few types of pickles, water bottle, and a thermos of amrut or somras. I put the armor and all on the dress I had worn first time coming to school. I had put the ration in the rucksack, got armed with the weapons, and got ready. I had delayed as much as possible, but finally I had got a call the third time. So I was about to start writing the note for Mohini when I heard the call. No need to write that, you moron. Come on, let's move. I looked there, she stood. Stop staring at, let's walk. It's really getting dirty down there, and off she marched. I stood there like dumb, marveling at the authority she possessed and clarity of her mind. The confidence and knowledge she carried. In short, I marveled her personality. She gave me
The mighty weapon. I started walking with Mohini outside the hall. All the rest of my group was waiting in a van. I was told this van is a modified version of Pushpak Viman, or the airplane from Ramayan, the one which didn't need the driver. Whole school had gathered to give us farewell. Parshuram took me out to the left side of the castle, the side I had never visited till now. Don't you know why? Simply hadn't got the chance. There was a graveyard with around 35 graves made of marble and decorated with gems and jewels. Each one had a tombstone which had the name of and short history of each person on whose memories these graves were made. Parshuram said, "My son, bow to each of them. These were the students of our school. They are martyrs. They died in a war or in a mission, just like you are about to go. Return alive, Lord Maharudra will bless you." Saying so, the most mighty warrior in the history and myth wiped his eyes. Lord Hanuman gave blessings. Ashwathama, Vibhishan, Vyasamuni gave their blessings. Be brave, kids. Be strong. You are carrying the fate of an entire universe on your shoulders. Saying so, they all blessed us, and our journey started. I was sitting in the back seat with luggage. I had purposefully chosen the seat with intentions that I will be alone and can talk with Mohini. I knew she was in there, even though right now I couldn't see her. I sat down or was about to sit down when someone hissed my ears. "Stupid, move aside, you're going to sit on my lap." I smiled and sat next to her, thinking, she's a ghost. How can I sit in her lap? I will pass through her, but didn't say a word. Instead, I asked her, "So what do we do next?" She hissed back. We had to speak really low, because other students were in an audible distance. "First, we dumped this stupid car." Saying so, she gave me instructions, and I told to stop the car in the parking of a mall. Then we got out, locked the doors, and went into the darkest corner. There we held our hands, and Mohini threw one pearl down. By now I could see her, but only me, no one else. Don't know how, but she managed to do it. It had to do something with my kundalini. I think it was the same thing what other kids had received from their godly parent last night. Or I assumed it was. She had spent 5 minutes in the van before we parked to complete this link, holding hands and chanting God knows what. As soon as the pearls hit the ground, she uttered the words Kachaloka. In 2 seconds, we were inside a huge bubble traveling in water at a speed unbearable. I was told it was the fastest mode of transport. Well, except teleporting, which Lord Hanuman had used to take me to Ramlok. Mohini said Kachalok was the place where Lord Vishnu had taken the form of a tortoise. Mohini told me how Lord Vishnu, along with the other powers, had the power of shape-shifting, and how he had taken the shape of a kacha or a tortoise, and had held mountain on his back to stir the ocean. That is the place where Samudra Manthan had taken place in the middle of the ocean. Most people say it was done in Kshir, Sagra, the ocean of milk where Lord Vishnu lives. I asked,
So, is that where we are going? Mohini said, Oh God, you mortals. The Shri Sagar is the ocean. That's all, rest is made up the story. Probably made to keep mortals away from doing experiments or anything trying to get to dangerous elements. I asked, So you mean Lord Vishnu lives in oceans? She smiled and winked. I didn't get the answer, but when I gave her the look, she said Lord Vishnu, the protector of universe, is supposed to be everywhere. Water is the element which is everywhere, and a vast portion of earth is covered with water, in air, humidity, in ice, below the land, everywhere. That's the reason the stories are told with Vishnu sitting in the sea. Also, water is a symbol of life. Frankly, I personally think they would have gone with air. It's more in proportion than water, but it was hard for the painters to paint Lord sitting in air without support. Before she could finish explaining it, we were in front of a broken underwater mountain. Surrounding it were thousands and thousands of tortoises and turtles. They came to us rushing, we waved them back. Mohini guided the bubble towards the side as of today's days Pakistan, and in few seconds we saw two shining white teeth of snake, 5 feet above ground, radiating enormous power. I looked at Rudra. So, son of Vishwakarma, master of engineers, tell me how do we carry these two huge teeth to the entrance of hell? He thought for a while, then began walking towards the teeth. Rest of us were carried by bubble. It was like he was controlling it now. Thought for some time and said, Here and see I can get a shark or a whale spines. A few of them. I will also need a huge tortoise back, the shell of it. I will need that too. Mohini told me to cast the spell of light. My spell was nearly a deception to cover hers. She was the daughter of death. This came in her territory, but no one must know she is around. So when my hands emitted light, she cast two spells. I don't know what, but the skeletons of the dark shark and tortoise were coming to us. They entered inside the bubble. Rudra took them. He put the back of the tortoise down on the ground of the sea. He used the spine of the shark as a lever in a perfect place, and both the teeth were out of the ground. Now let me make it clear, yes, he is blessed and hence possessed much more energy than normal humans, plus we all had to help. The teeth stood straight up. He looked at them nearly for 2 to 3 minutes. Then he removed a chisel and hammer and began working on teeth. His speed was so great, he was extra skilled and knew exactly where he needed to work, how much to work. It looked like a skilled swordsman attacking another one, with the speed and grace, the elegance only the master will possess. It was a treat seeing him working. I guarantee his dad was talking to him, guiding him, giving the instructions, with his breath and with the every blow of his hammer on the chisel. At last he had carved the base of the teeth, the part which goes inside into the gums into wheels. Both teeth had got their own trolley now. He had cut down the upper part in such a way that the big canines of that size were perfectly balanced and easy to move. Easier than anyone will imagine, seeing their size. He had used the biggest spines of the shark in each tooth as an aisle. He said, now we can push them and carry them wherever we want. I was pleased. I tried to push it. Yes, they were heavy. Even with my superpowers and all, I was able to lift. But with the wheels, yes, I could push them with ease now. Mohini was not happy. She told me to make the arrangement such that the teeth can turn down straight as a spear at 90 degrees just above the wheels. He worked again on for it for some time, and at last we had the teeth of Vasuki converted into cannons, the old-fashioned one with two big wheels pulled by bulls, except this one had only one wheel on which rested the teeth with great elegance. Now Mohini looked satisfied. We pushed our bubble next to it slowly, covering our two cannons on it. Then Mohini whispered a spell which reduced their size and covered it with mist so no ordinary mortal person will see it. Mohini said this is not the normal size of the teeth and hence cannot be used for war, only for carrying. Same thing in vice versa situation. We can enlarge it, but will fit for war? No, it won't be. Remember this law. In mortal world, there are various laws like of Newton or law of trigonometry. In our world, laws change. This law says that size of an object can be altered, but so will alter its mass and strength. She went on. Second law is an object is at the best states of its mass and strength in its normal and unfaltered form. The strength or the mass of object decreases in the proportion of the size and structure it is altered. I nodded, she said. I feel like a teacher. I smiled, she said, okay, my student, now time to go, holding one of the best and most lethal weapon which might ever be made on earth. Like ever. Yes, I had the most lethal weapon. I felt invincible touching it. The energy which was radiated by the teeth instantly connected to me, and I knew at this instance this were made on
Chapter
special
19.
demand
The
only
assassination.
for. We again held each other's hands, and boom, next moments we were traveling out of the sea and in the air. Again at an unbearable speed which was making me sick and I wished to puke. We landed at the temple of Gruneshwara. I knew it. I had visited it before. She said, in these temples, pearls don't help. I asked why. She said, this is the temple of Mrityunjaya, the Mahakal, the Shiva, the one who has defeated death, and these pearls are of death. It's simple. This pearl keeps secret of those whose temple it is. I said, cool, she went on. So, till we reached the passage of the gates to hell below Hatkeshwara, we have to walk. It was fine with me, after all, I was getting sick of that high speed or rather supersonic speed traveling. All others were quite intense, their expression showed it. We all took turns pushing those mighty teeth cannons. Even in the small size, the majestic and lethal cannons were quite heavy. The visitors of the temple of Gurneshwara were giving us a confused look, I guess because of dresses we were wearing. It might have looked we are from some high school drama group. Swords, armors, and spears and all, thanks to Mohini teeth, were visible to them. We walked till we came out to that place where water drained after Abhishek to Shiv. That is the place where water drained after Lord Shiva bathed. There we all sat on the ground and I took position as if we were waiting to collect the holy tirth or the water offered to Lord Shiva. It is sacred and holy. While all were busy playing their part, I unlocked the doors below the drainage line. Rudra and Jay stood on either side, making sure no one was looking while we pushed the cannons down. Then we jumped ourselves down. Rudra and Jay followed us. We closed the passage door. We were inside the tunnel underground. Mohini whispered in my ears, "Welcome to my neighborhood, dear." I looked at her and said, "What?" She said, "We are on the way to hell, my territory, remember? So as you are coming to my world, it's my duty to welcome you." I smiled. "Yes, right." She said, "So shall we move on?" We again held hands. The pearl fell down and the bubble began moving through the dark tunnel, with red torches burning on either side of the tunnel and which were passing behind us with speed unexplainable. In less than a minute, we were standing in front of Hatkeshwara temple. Mohini said, "You are the most lucky mortal. You could visit this temple, seek blessings. None alive so for the last 200 years have visited it." I repeat the words to my group, and we all offered our prayers to Lord Shiva. In the temple no mortal had ever visited, the temple of Lord Shiva in the hell. The carvings were magnificent. It was decorated with gold, silver, and gems. Of course, no one was going to steal them from there. The statue of Shiva was of black stone and looked very calm and divine. I could guarantee no mortal sculptor can ever make such a statue or such a temple in today's era. We rested for a while, ate our breakfast. The ration we were given was according to our calculations of traveling by motor. But we had travelled by death's bubble, or what it is called, I don't know, so we had plenty to eat. The breads, fruits, sprouts, cereals, juice, milk. We ate all, and I sat there thinking what was going on in last few hours. We had travelled with our body in the transport made to travel only after we had died, the transport for our souls. We were sitting in the temple where no one had ever gone. I was going to kill the demon who almost ate the universe. We sat in the temple for some time resting and left the temple. We went in the passage, it was open, the back side of the temple. I was hoping for the pearl again, but Mohini whispered, "It's only 15 minutes. Walk. You have to walk to them, rise their morale." I nodded. I couldn't think of anything, so I just spoke to Rita. "Rita, I love you." All looked shocked. Rudra was the first to respond. "What the hell, Adi?" I said, "Not what the hell, Rudra, in the hell. She is the girl who walked with me in the hell. Tell me I am wrong to fall for her." I smiled. She was staring at me, all were staring at me, then I broke out with laughter. I just wanted to flirt with the girl in the doors of hell and continued laughing. Now she also joined, "Adi, you are a pig," and punched me on my biceps in joke. Then she whispered in my ears, "Nice trick to lift the morale of the brigade." Of course, she was the daughter of wisdom. Saraswati Mata had adopted her. Then she said, "Can I ask you one question?" Full of attitude, I replied, "Sure, but I may or may not answer." She said, "I have read those bubbles we have travelled in. The soul collectors of death use them. How did you get that knowledge?" I smiled. "Looks like it's not only you who kept reading books in a library." Okay, she took it, but only after I promised I would teach her that. We walked, taking turns pushing our cannons. Rita asked again, "Do you know this teeth of snake will hold the gates of hell?" Okay, now I got it. All were thinking we had to block the gates with this. I simply nodded. Then Mohini said, "We are here, cut them loose." I nodded and stopped. "You all wait here and be ready. Wait here only. I only go ahead alone." All argued, but after all, they were my friends. But I made it clear this is my mission, so these last few steps I will walk alone.
Besides, I really need a backup, and I walked ahead slowly but firmly towards hell, towards the demon, who wished to see me dead, pushing both cannons alone. Then I took a left turn. As soon as we were out of the vision of my group, the bubble came and lifted us both, me and Mohini, with cannons. She gave me the huge black overcoat to wear and assured me I had become invisible. I had no option but to take her word for it, and the roller coaster ride began in the hell, full of volcanoes, lavas, dead demon souls, spirits, fungus everywhere. At a speed faster than before, we went deep inside in hell and at last came to the cave where she stopped the bubble. Looking at me, Mohini said, "Look in that cave door. Inside it lies your target." I saw that door. Nothing else but pure darkness was visible. She said, "Now is the time. Aim both of the teeth in his mouth and put all the pressure. Tear him down." Saying so, she made the teeth of the normal size and helped me with them. It was because of her mystical powers and mine could hold those enormous teeth. I used all the energy I had left inside me. She said, "Don't worry, I have some rust with me, let's go." So the bubble moved again in the cave where nothing was visible, but our presence was sensed by what lay inside. Now I could see two eyes open, reflecting pure light as big as football. He sensed us with my partner in crime said. We were good 50 feet above the eyes, but in less than a second it was our level. Now we could see it by the light of its eye. It was more dangerous than the video. It opened its huge mouth and tried to grab us. Mohini dodged the ball and whispered, "It cannot see us. Relax." I really wished I could believe her. But the situation was so tense and the scene in front was so morbid and terrifying that it was getting difficult to do it. I attacked 7-8 times, all close calls. Then I saw my chance. As soon as I saw it opening the mouth, I grabbed it. It's a thirsty vampire would grab the bottle of human blood. I pressed the teeth in his mouth with all the might and courage and all the last ounce of strength I had. One in his upper jaw, the second to its right side of the mouth. I managed to pierce till the end and rested the wheels on his tongue, inside his body to great, and I made a good grab with my powers I had received from my father. The bubble began its journey along the coil inside the body, tearing down the worm. Mohini, being the daughter of death, was into something of black magic also. She was spreading some black smoke which was touching the body of Karl Serp and returning back to her. I later understood she was collecting the soul of the snake. Slowly she was killing it with me, as it was impossible to capture the soul of so big thing in one shot. It was collected by her in parts. Now the snake was in huge pain. It was jumping up and down, trying to throw us out. My power was draining, and I could bet the entire White House on Mohini's powers also being drained. In the coil with that supersonic speed traveling, it took us literally more than 3 hours. When we came out from the tail, our bubble was dripping with red blood. Mohini was circling the dying womb, collecting the soul. Black shadows, the shadows which gave the most morbid hallucination feelings, were coming to us. The feeling of sadness and fear were growing in our spines. We both were having goosebumps on our hands, but that didn't stop either of us. We held our hands to give each other support. I knew we both needed support. I could now hear her reciting some chants, many of them which had learned in our school. The Karl Serpa was jumping just like the flame of the candle's dust before going off. I had few sips of somras. We waited at his face, at least 100 feet away, to invincible. Even at this time of his death, his one wife with tail, and I would be dying with it, or rather before it. After half an hour of struggling, the snake gave off and lay still. I looked at Mohini. She hugged me. Then from her pocket she removed a diamond and put it in his forehead. The color of the crystal changed, white to blue, dark blue, purple, red, brown, and finally black. She was looking at it for some time, gaze fixed on it, still as if she had lost in it. She held the diamond back in her hand and said, "Normal humans go to only the faint shade of sky. Blue, this diamond turned to black. Look, I hold the life of Karl Serpa." She showed me as if it was a trophy, and I was still freaked out, thinking, is there any chance it can come out? She said, "Now relax, this soul cannot escape from this cage forever. You can play football with it if you want, and it will not be an issue." "Okay, so what do we do now?" I asked. "Cut his head," she said, "with my sword." It took some time, really tiring job, if I might say. In the meantime, my energy was draining, so I had sown rust twice. Mohini said, "This is because of morbidness in the air by death of this monster. The environment has enveloped the fear, sadness, helplessness, and depression. This feeling will last for some time." Once the head was separated from the body of the snake, she made a bubble with 2 teeth and head along with us both. We came to the door. There she told me to order the sword to close it.
I looked at her in astonishment, but did as she told. Blue light came from the tip of the sword and closed its door, shut it, and sealed it with boulders, and her bubble left. She told me my sword was the key to hell, and hence the doors of this was opened when first time I had held my sword in my hand. Chapter 20 The Return as a Hero. In the bubble after I had closed the doors to hell, Mohini said, because of the power of Kal Sarpa, we can go through the temple also without stopping. I nodded, and her bubble stopped. I took my friends who had become restless. They had also some action eliminating a few demons who had come out of the gate. There was a huge pile of them. I got to know from them that they were so much occupied in their war that they didn't get any idea for how much time I had been gone. In a fraction of seconds, our bubble was again moving. It passed the temples both and in air straight to the castle. To my school, to my home, we landed in the courtyard of our school. All came running, the students, the teachers. Parshuram was ahead of all, but he stayed around 60 feet away from me and was looking horrified with big eyes. We all went to Lord Parshuram and touched his feet for blessings and stood next to him. It was the time I realized what had given him that shock, the horror on his face. The front yard of our school grounds was covered with the head of a snake. I looked at Sir Parshuram and said sorry to close the doors. I had to kill him. And that moment I felt on ground. Everybody hurried me to school. Next thing I remember is when I opened my eyes, all had surrounded me. Rudra was saying, you killed the Kal Sarpa. Rita was saying, why you went inside the hell in the first place? Vedika was asking, you proposed her. Parshuram sir came in and all the boys left the chambers. Parshuram sir said, Adi, I have at least 1,000 of questions to ask. But before I could open my mouth, Mohini came forward and she narrated the whole story. Parshuram was not at all pleased, but gradually he discussed and settled down. Scolded me, but was happy his student had finished Kal Sarpa. He said that head will be given as a gift to Lord Indra, and those teeth cannons will be kept in the personal museum of school. I nodded. Then he said, brushing my hair, take rest, my son. This is the beginning. You will have many adventures from now on. Then said to Mohini, thanks, daughter, for all help. Go give the life of Kal Sarva to your father, make him proud, and you can visit us any time you want. Now was the time of peace. My teachers were proud of me. My friends were throwing a party to me. Vedika was scolding me for don't even remember the reasons. My mom had received the special letter of my deeds and how proud all the gods were of me, especially signed by Parshuram. She had called me back and was crying of happiness and pride. Mohini was back, who had given me a letter from her father, the letter from death, who was grateful to me and also proud of me. In short, I had turned to be someone popular. While I was sitting on my bed, almost tired and sleepy, my father contacted me again, just like first time. Only thing, this time I was not in sleep. This time he said, well done, my son. I knew you will stand up to my expectation. You make me proud. Well done, son. Then the contact was broken. I only smiled, a disappointing smile. It was only the message. No contact, no revealing his identity. I mean, common dad, I got a letter signed by death, the Yam, and the king of gods, Indra, and you still don't even think me fit enough to tell your name. I lay down on the bed, feeling sad but thinking, finally it's over. Everything is normal again. World is at peace. The only question which came to my mind was for
Glossary. 7 immortals. Known as Sapt Chiranjeevi are the people who are immortals as per Hindu mythology. Parshuram, Vyasamuni, Ashwathama, Baliraj, Vibhishan, Kripacharya, Hanuman. Some of the terms you might have come across: Vishwakarma, the architect and god of engineering; Vachasiddhi, goddess of voice, speech and language; Ashwini Kumar, twin sons of Ashwini, gods of horses; Indra, the king of gods; Agni, the god of fire; Vayu, the god of wind; Pavan, the god of breeze; Vedas, actually 4 holy books with all the secrets of universe, accepted as that of equal to gods and blessed by Mother Saraswati; Dhanvantri, god of medical science; Bhanumati, demon by birth but given divinity by Lord Krishna for protecting his son Pradyuman, accepted as goddess of witchcraft; Kal, the god of time and death; Yam, the god of death and afterlife; Narad Muni, devotee of Lord Vishnu. 6 snakes from Hindu mythology: Sheshnag with Vishnu, Eravat in the gardens of Indra, Kaliya in Yamuna. Lord Krishna sent him in sea from there, now in Patal Ganga. Vasuki in the neck of Lord Krishna, Takshak in the Himalayas, Kal Sarpa, unspoken, forgotten and unheard. Now you know the reason. Places of Hindu mythology: Kachalok, the place where Lord Vishnu took the form of huge tortoise and took the mountain on his back for Samundra Manthan.
Ramlok, the part of heaven assigned to Lord Ram and his family. Patal, the underground place where demons live many times confused by Nak, the hell. Some terms. Kundalini, the spiritual power in human body. Jagruti, the awakening. Samundra Manthan. By ancient Indian mythology, gods and demons stirred the sea to rise 14 elements. Some more mystical concepts. Kshir Sagara, a concept which mentions its sea made of milk. Some say it was used for Samundra Manthan, some say it's Vaikunt Lok where Lord Vishnu lives. Pitralok, the name of the kingdom of Lord Yam, the place where souls go after death. Vetarini, the river in hell, not of water but of souls, the river which carries the souls from life to afterlife and back. Yadna Kunda, a square pit prepared with bricks to light fire for offerings to God. Rudraksha. They are the fruits of tree called Rudraksha and are assumed their origins were from the tears of Lord Shiva. Kshatriyas. In the caste system of ancient India, Kshatriyas were the warriors. Brahmins. In the caste system of ancient India, Brahmins were the devotee of gods. Arjun, referred as one of the hero and greatest archer in the epics of Mahabharata. Kurukshetra, the battlefield where the legendary war of Mahabharata took place, which was fought for 18 days. Krishna, the avatar of Lord Vishnu and director of the war of Mahabharata. Karna, the son of god of sun and a great archer from Mahabharata. Bhishma, the son of river Ganga from Mahabharata. Brahma, the creator of universe. Vishnu, the protector of universe. Durga, the goddess of power and war. Kali, the avatar or a form of Durga. Vaishnavi, by Shashvat Pradhan, assumed to be the creator of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Chitragupt, the god who keeps accounts of his deeds of moral humans. Kal Bhairav, the form destroyer of Tara or form of Shiva taken during the destruction of universe. Veerbhadra, the warrior created by Shiva. Lakshman, the brother of Lord Ram from the legends of Ramayana. Ram, the avatar or form of Vishnu taken by him during epics of Ramayana. Pushpak Viman, the airplane mentioned in many legends but mentioned mostly in Ramayana. Author's declaration. The story you have read is a made up fiction and hence author requests you to humbly not to find any connection of the story with living or dead. The story was written with sole purpose of entertainment only. All characters and incident in this novel are fictional. Any resemblance to any person or organization is purely coincidental.